All right, everybody, it's me, Burrito. Welcome back to the 1 to 90 series. I am currently in Bespin on Tatooine, and I thought it'd be fun to start this one off with a little diversion from the Legacy before we get into Legacy Corellia Part 2. So we're here at the Bespin Canteen, and we want to talk to Quacky? Quaque? Either way, I suppose you are another young hunter that has come to hear the stories of the great Q. I'm going to call him Q. And you can say a couple different things. I'll say, indeed I am. He was something else. I'm still here, you know. Granted, I may not be in my prime anymore, but I can still put a bolt through a dewback's eye from 1,000 meters away. I can't believe the draw distance in the game's a bit large enough for you to do that. Amazing. That's impossible. Maybe up to 63 to 64 meters away. Nice meta. Good meta joke. Considering the max range on a rifle 64 meters. You are quite the beginner, aren't you? So what's the story do you want to hear? How about when I fought off a rancor in his den armed with only a thigh bone? Or what about when I wrestled down a hungry sick with my bare hands? Well, I think Luke did the thigh bone thing, but I've done all of that. Don't you have any better? You think you're better than me, eh? Are you strong enough to back that up? I don't think so. Sure, what would you have me do? Well, by the look of you, I better go easy. How about you go out in the desert, don't forget some water now, and kill 10 of the cannibal duelbacks. I'll even make it easy for you and explain a good location to find them. Several have been spotted in the western dunes, southwest of here. I'll be back before you can finish that drink. Sure, you better be careful, little one. So this is a quest called The Great Hunter. It's part of the Clone Rucks quest series out of the game. We're going to be getting a couple of cybernetic arms and couple cool paintings from this one. Now he says go drive around the Dune Sea, and I say F that noise. We're just gonna get a terminal mission. Cannibal dewback layer. Well, that was easy. Accept. And then we'll just mount up and go destroy the cannibal dewbacks until we get enough. Alright, so this is actually might be a little spicy here since they're all approximately 2 levels above me. So I'll play this a little smart. What we're gonna do, I already have a similar buff active. Oh no, that fills that slot? Today I learned. Well, anyways. Yeah. For safety, let's pop some damage power-ups. Because I got them anyways. I'm not gonna open by attacking them all yet. We're just gonna take out one at a time to thin the number here. But then we're gonna have to hit the layer to get more of these guys to spawn. So the way layers typically work is that at certain health thresholds, they will spawn more waves. So if we push the layer too quickly, we'll end up spawning potentially too many dewbacks at once, and we might overwhelm ourselves. I'm not too worried about it, especially since this is a layer scaled for 1 player. Also, this is probably the only time during this series you'll ever see me actually do a terminal mission, now that I think about it, is this one quest line. You can always do terminal missions to pad out your levels. On Legends, currently you can do 15 terminal missions a day, which will give you enough XP that with XP bonuses, you can get like 2.5 levels if you do all 15, which those are pretty easy to stomp out in about half an hour. I think that might be it. Am I really 1 dewback short? And look, that was enough XP to level us up. I got 37,000 XP just for the mission, not including the dewbacks I defeated, then 7,700 credits. Level 69, though, nice. I just need 1 more cannibal dewback. I could go get another mission terminal, but maybe fate will smile upon me and just stick one in front of me. Alright, well, I guess I'll just go back to the Bespin and grab another mission. That was unfortunate. I was hoping to get at least 10. I'm used to doing mission terminal missions where I'm trying to farm for familiars or like creature resources. So I was honestly expecting like more enemies, but then I forget that for a solo player, the roll's pretty low in the number of creatures that spawn from a lair. It's funny, I was actually going to do the Boba Fett Clone Relics quest because I was like, oh yeah, we can get like the DC weapons. But then I realized that all the weapons you get from that quest line are level 80 and up. So they're not really useful to do at this point in the quest series, or in the leveling experience, despite it being a level 70 quest. All right, we're gonna fresh this one more time. If it doesn't have a cannibal dewback, I'm just gonna go look for one again, because this is stupid. This is like, what, the 8th page that I'm on, so I've looked through 80 quests. All right, get. We went out southwest. Just go south. Where the hell? Why is nothing spawning in, ma'am? I should probably just use a player city terminal and try fishing again for a cannibal spawn. This is taking too long. Sup, Jen? So I'm glad you're enjoying the series as it is. No, I didn't show off droids and flight computers. I should have, because it would have made, one, my experience easier, and that's something very important for leveling. Like, I've been seeing it the last couple of days, people saying they're stuck on certain piloting missions. And then people are like, do you have a flight computer? Most people going, no. So that probably would have been good. I mentioned it in the series, but I think my exact wording was, I don't mess with flight computers outside of Ace. I don't know what to do here, so I'm just not going to bother. And in the tier 4 missions, when they got hard, I just brought one of my aces up to destroy everything. So I circumvented where you'd be forced into getting a flight computer. Not great example setting, I know. The flight computer system in this game is so frustrating to learn because of the limitations you have at lower flight trainer levels. Like, you can't, like, here. So if I go into space, you'll see, like, so, like, these are the programs that you can learn and, like, do yourself, but you could buy flight chips from other people. That's not the problem. The problem is the, I think it's the astromech certification. That'll really hold you back. Yeah. Level 3 astromech certification. That'll really hold you back on what flight computers you can actually deploy, and, like, how much memory they have and what abilities you can commit to them. And I don't run a bunch of, like, weird meme builds, so I don't have a lot of messing around with flight computer knowledge. My entire flight computer knowledge is other people telling me what to put in a flight computer. So that's definitely an area of the game that I lack, but it's also, like, doesn't demand you to learn that, because, like, as I mentioned before, when I do the this is ridiculous, by the way, that I still haven't found one more cannibal dewback mission. But like I mentioned before, like, when I do the Smugglers Alliance piloting missions, there is never a quest in that entire series where I'm like, a flight computer is necessary here. There's just not one. Those piloting missions are significantly easier than any other flight trainer I've done. I don't know if that was intentional or what. Sorry, I'm trying to think. I think I can find dewbacks up here too. I just need to try a different mission terminal. I'm cursing the mission terminal, but anyways. Like, the missions that I got stuck on, and I mentioned this in the series too, the missions that I got stuck on, I had to bring out my ace pilot to help. If I had a droid computer, totally doable. Almost trivial. Like, droid computer's game changer for space, but I just didn't want to deal with that learning curve at this point in my, like, experience. Wow, so many dewbacks that don't count. Oh, found it. Okay. Anyways, that took too long. One, heavy weapon starships requires programs to buff the weapon damage. Capacitor. I mean, the main thing that I would want is, yeah, the shunts for the gunships. Because when I was dueling those gunships, the problem was that, you know, armor isn't that collection space for when it comes to PvE. For PvE, your armor is like a little bit of insurance, but really it's just managing your shield. So not being able to shunt capacitor to shield or control my shield weighting with front or rear reinforcements, that was the main problem. Yeah, boosting my weapon damage would make it go faster. Having a faster ship would be nice, but the main issue was missing the capacitor overcharge, and then the shunting, and then the shield reinforcement. If I just had those programs, those missions would be much easier. It's funny, though, because at the same time, I've been seeing people being like, I'm struggling with these missions, I don't know what to do here. People saying get a flight computer. There's not a lot of guides that are easily digestible for building flight computers at low ranks. Most of the guys just talk about flight computer theory at Ace, because that's all that really matters, to be honest. So I get it. Alright. Well, we finished our quest, because I only need to defeat one. But you all want to see a meme? Come on! Yes. I only let one spawn. Man, I haven't even had to heal yet. I just did there because I was like, why not? Got him. Alright, back to Bespin. Anyways. But yeah. And if before anyone says maybe you should make a guide, I just explain how I don't understand flight computers. I think the best I could do in that regard is like make a guide where here are some flight computer setups at specific tiers that would be useful. I don't really have the knowledge to explain flight computers in detail. I could just brute force stuff that I think would work fine. More weapons, you probably won't need the extra damage. Yeah, I prefer the medium and heavy fighters, personally, for PvE. The light fighters are fun to fly, but unless you're running an overload, the damage just doesn't keep up with the medium and heavy ones, just because of having the extra weapons such a big deal. Or sometimes 2 extra weapons, in the case of the crate. Alright, well, you've been gone long enough. Did you find the D-backs, or did a pack of angry Creedles chase you away? Hey, dude, Creedles are funny. Don't shit on them. Or they're big. They're big bugs. Very funny. 10 cannibal D-back jaws is ordered. Not too bad. But it didn't take much longer than did old Eric on his 80th birthday, either. Well, yeah, the terminals were disagreeing with me, man. So that was the warm-up round. Are you ready to sink your teeth into a challenge? I was hoping you would say that. All right, I'm cranking it up a notch, as you may have to buy some new armor to protect that frail body of yours. Rude, says the guy with mostly cybernetics. Ever been to Locke? Well, that's where you're going this one. They have a strange-looking creature called a Snorble. Hunt down 12 of them, and remove their trunks. I thought you said you crank it up a notch. Don't get smart with me, youngster. Snorbles might look peaceful, but they can get quite ferocious if angered. I mean, yeah, he's basically telling me to hunt elephants. So let's go to Locke, and we're gonna do the same strategy using terminal missions, and hopefully I either get 12 or I get 2 missions quickly. Yeah, that's my point. Is I don't know how to balance a low-tier flight computer. Like, I just never looked at it. Like, I don't know, like, if I do it and I put, like, capacitor overload, like, reactor and then capacitor overload, and then if it's full or what. Like, I'd have to, like, figure out the right tiers of programs, and I just did not have the patience for that at the time. I was like, screw it. Snorble's pack layer, yeah. Before we leave, let's see if there's another Snorble mission. There is. I'm gonna grab 2, just in case. Like, I enjoy space for what it is, but I have a hard time getting invested in it because the late game mechanics of the gear cycle is just asinine, and I hate it. So I just gotta do the bare minimum to, like, understand the leveling path and having the gear for whatever content I want to do. So, like, any further look into it, I just kind of roll my eyes back into my head. And I'm like, ugh. Alright, so we're here at the first Snorble layer. Hopefully this is the only one I really need to do, and I can just dump the other one. Oh, great. They have roots as well. I think mentally space just tends to hold me hostage. It's like it's this aspect of Star Wars I love. I love, you know, the space flying around and flying ships and whatever. And I want to enjoy space in this game, but every time, the further I dig into it, the more I dislike it. It's like you see like a tasty looking cake sitting on a table and like, ooh, yeah, I want to have some of that. You try like the frosting and the cream and you're like, yummy. And then like you start getting into the middle and you're like, you know, the dough itself's not that great. And the filling's not very good either. And then by the time you're like through one piece of it, you're like, I don't feel good about what I just did. I think I'm just gonna sample this every once in a while, you know? Wow, we got level 70. Wow, I don't really mean to be padding my levels this much, but it's just kind of happening. It's the nature of doing terminal missions. Oh, we got Artillery Strike 2, though. That's fun. And then we can get a Synaptic Stimulator, so I can purge debuffs now. I'm going to show you all the animations. So the first animation for Artillery Strike Mark 1 you saw earlier. It is the, looks like a mortar strike comes down from off screen and then does a little explosion. Mark 2, you get a different animation. And the animation is so popular, even at level 90, people choose to run Mark 2 over Mark 3 purely for aesthetics. Mark 3 unequivocally does more damage than Mark 2. Like, that's not a question, that's just a fact. But people really like Mark 2. And here, I'll show you on these pirates what I'm talking about. It's just an orbital laser. Which is really funny. Oh man, I don't think I crit them. That example of the orbital laser. Druid Moonbeam from WoW. Imperial Agent Orbital Bombardment from SWTOR. I'm staying on the SWTOR bandwagon here. Hammer of Dawn from Gears of War, if you want to get some mid-2000s third-person cover shootery about it. I think there's a lot of things that are just going to live in the mid-2000s and never come out. Good Halo games, good Gears of War games. Basically, any Microsoft-owned property that, like, peaked in the mid-2000s is never going to really have its heyday ever again. That's not to say that the recent iterations of Halo or Gears of War have been bad. Halo Infinite's core gameplay is good. Campaign's a stinker. But what's new? I don't think 343 know how to make a good campaign. And then Gears of War campaign's fine. I don't know. Irv and I played the last couple. But I honestly... I had a lot of fun with 4 in Ford's Horde mode. I don't remember what happened with 5. I remember there was a lot of sledding in the campaign, which is a weird thing to say. Sayonara. All right, well... Didn't mean to pad this much leveling, but let's go back to Bespin now. Knowing another Halo game can beat 1-3 campaign. What's up, Burmania? No, I agree. Like, if there's... I recently watched a, like a stream recording of a YouTuber who, him and his friend, his friend's also a YouTuber, they rated the Halo campaign missions on a tier list. And they did Halo's Combat Evolve through Reach. So none of the 343 ones, because, quote, rating the 343 ones would have us add multiple more tiers to this list to make the discrepancy look fair. Like, they're like, we would need levels below F tier if we started comparing 343 campaign missions to Bungie ones. Yeah, just miraculously lower tiers. But, like, Halo 1's a really great campaign. I love it. Halo 2, yeah, Arbiter mission, you know, thinking about it, the Arbiter missions were pretty ass. Narratively awesome. World building awesome. Gameplay ass. But man, Halo 3 and Halo ODST, those campaign missions are just peak. Reach was okay for campaign, but yeah, it's like, even if you had Bungie back working on it, like you got the original Bungie guys working on Halo again, I don't even know if they topped themselves. They were just so on fire. Like, from Halo CE to ODST, it's just absurd. Alright, so we're back with Q. Welcome back. How was Locke? You did make it to Locke, even, though. I didn't draw you a map, right? I could find a Hydro Spring and a Dungmite stack, so yes, I want that one. It's weirdly specific. I wish you had washed up before you came to see me then. Giggles. Enough chatter. Did you manage to hunt down the Snorbles, or were they too hard for you to track? Yeah, real hard. Here's your trunks, and that should explain the smell. Indeed, not bad, Vum. I must say that you start to impress me. I suppose you have earned some sort of reward. I would say so. You have this old painting. It brings me nothing but tired memories anyways. Now, if you have rested yourself, come back and see me. We'll continue this little adventure. I expect to see you in about a week then. So the first reward is the Clone Wars painting, which you all might recognize from its very Attack of Episode 2E with the yellow sky backdrop, which you can interpret as probably Geonosis and then a clone on it. It's a cool painting. Nice decoration. Speaking to Q again, though, here are Vom, are you ready to continue your quest to become almost as good as Hunter's Eye? It's not what I call a quest, but yeah, I am. Excellent. This step in the Sarvari would take you to the planet of Dantooine. I was there a few years ago hunting the vicious Vorator jungle lizard. Yeah, I guess Dantooine has jungles. I came upon this spot south of the Imperial outpost where the little bastards were all over the place. Really? Sounds exciting. Oh, it was. I approached them with the wind on my back so they couldn't sense my presence and started to carefully take aim at the ones that were separated from the flock. Boom. Headshot. Boom, headshot. Bro, you quoting your COD montage? I managed to take out 5 of them before the day was over. Aren't you supposed to approach with the wind in your face? Yes, just like I said. Are you paying attention here or what? Anyway, so I got 5 in one day. Think you can beat it? Well, I'm not even on Dantooine yet. Excuses, fine. I'll give you some extra time to make up your little mind. In fact, make up for that little fact and some more time because you're slower than a 3-legged bantha. How's that? So, this is a tie-in mission. So if you just pick I don't need a handicap, I'll give you the strictest time. So let's do it. I'm not the one with the metal legs. Yeah, there, and bring back those horns as proof. But I don't think it actually starts a timer. If there is one, I don't see it. So let's just go get them. One thing, though, watching that Halo Tier video is I was reminded about... I haven't actually sat and played through and played the Halo games and watched their cutscenes in a long time. They were talking about plot elements, especially from Halo Reach, because I tend to just skip all the cutscenes in that game every time I play it. I'm not a big fan of Reach gameplay. Campaign's fine, I just don't care about the gameplay. But I skipped this cutscene so often. They were talking about stuff, and I'm like, I forgot that that's a plot element. All right, let's take as many Voyager missions as this one will give us. Well, we could take 2, I believe. Wait, was that? A jungle Voyager. Wow. Just in case. So I think at some point in the next year, I want to replay through all the Halo games and actively pay attention to the cutscenes. Just so I could be like, okay, I remember exactly what happens. Because of course I remember the memes, right? I remember all the memes and quotes, but unfortunately, I kind of remember Halo 4 cutscenes a lot, but maybe it's because I just hate them. It could also be because I did, like, the speedrun challenge for that one, and sometimes I, like, take a break, and I let the cutscene roll in between, like, individual level segments. Or, maybe I've watched the Halo 4 cut, I don't know. Or maybe I just heard people shit on Halo 4 so much, they tend to gripe on their cutscenes the most. But, like, I don't remember a lot of the nuanced storytelling. Because I'm also the individual who's like, I'm doing all the sequence breaks to get through stuff as fast as possible, so I'm just skipping plot all the time. There it is. Are they brain farting? Are you all spitters? Oh, you sons of bitches. I didn't know jungle borders were spitters. That's bad. I was planning on them stacking up on me, which is why I started opening with AoEs. Man, I forgot that the cooldown on Synaptic Stimulator and Environmental Purge are so long. It's been a bit. Can't really just spam them like you can as a medic. Makes sense, I guess. All right. I think we technically Got it. Yeah, we could actually return now after that one. I'm debating about... I think I'm just going to dump the missions and return. I know you're all like, but cop door bonus. I'm like, yeah, but I'm already level 70, and I think the next part of the legacy is going to be level 50. I'd like not to outpace it too quickly. Again, I was considering just like skipping getting the entertainer buff. Just because I'm like, man, I'm smacking out the levels too much, man. At this rate, I think we're gonna be 90 before I'm finished with Kashyyyk, which is insane when I think about it. Because after Legacy, I'm gonna do Nim's theme park before going to Kashyyyk, and Nim's theme park just dumps XP on you. You'll see when we get there. We're definitely not getting there today's session. It's gonna take a couple, because the Legacy does go on for a bit longer. Back with Q. You're back with some of the time left too. How many lizards did you manage? Count down 3, 4, try 6. That's right, 6. You killed 6 of them. Let me see those horns. 1, 2, 6. Well, this one is kind of small, and you had all that extra time. I could probably have killed 8 with all that time. That's right. Anyways, let's move on. And I laugh at him. You think you're all that, eh? But you've come to the final step, and this one will make you choke on that laughter. I'm sure it will. Collect your gear and return to me when you're ready. Which he doesn't give us a reward yet. Let's go talk to him again, which he gave us a level, though, so thanks, dude. Level 71. So this is it, Vum. Your final test of becoming the ultimate hunter, the killing machine, the obscene power, and the reaper of beasts, and the god among men. Have you been drinking again? What? No, well, maybe a little, but that's besides the point. Let's get down to business and discuss your next, last, and greatest adventure. I hope you have a better reward than the painting this time. Reward? Yes, of course. It will be much better. So anyway, this time you will travel to the faraway planet of Dathomir, a gruesome planet filled with danger at your every turn. Instead of avoiding it, though, you will go straight for the most fearsome beast on the planet, the Rancor. Sure, what do you want me to bring back? I like how I'm saying I can't, Empire. That's never stopped me before. Sure, this is no Womp Rat, you know. This is a Rancor, a fearsome beast that can rip a person in two like he's eating Wavor snacks. Okay. I know what a Rancor is. Let's get down to business. Indeed, I don't have time. I don't have a time limit for you this time. It will be hard enough as it is. Travel to Dathomir, track down a Rancor, and bring me back one of its teeth. Hopefully not attached to your stomach. Oh, that's, and there's an Imperial blockade around the planet, but you should be able to get past it no problem, I'm sure. Well, yeah, because I just travel. So, this mission wants you to go to Dathomir and find a Rancor. We're not doing that. We're going to take the cheese method. We're going to go to Naboo and go to Monia. Some of you will know this trick. So, a lot of Rancors will count for this quest, but not all of them. Specifically, I've heard that Night Sister Rancors don't count, but you don't really need to go out. I don't know why you would go out of your way to kill Night Sister Rancor. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to a little familiar location. We're going to go to Borvo's Vault. Some of you might remember that when we were in Borvo's Vault earlier during the Legacy quest, there was a Rancor and an Acklay down there. And interestingly enough, that Rancor actually completes this mission. Now, I could go to Dathomir, but I would have to grab a terminal mission to find some more Rancors or drive around the southwestern-ish side of the planet until I could find a Rancor. But honestly, this is pretty close to the starport already, so I don't really see any point going out of the way to do any of that. I don't really think this is much slower. Plus, you could do this at any level. It looks like someone's been in here recently, because I do not see the Acklay in spawn. The Rancor is there, though. Which, I don't remember what the Rancor spawn timer is. It might be shorter than the Acklays. Here we are at the Rancor. There he goes. Ultimate challenge complete. That was the ultimate challenge. Very difficult, Q. Thank you for the ultimate challenge. I hate the position of the cantina. It's like just far enough away where like, calling him out is worth it. To like get over to it. But it's almost so close where you don't need to. Almost. Back with Q. You're back, Mum. In One Piece as well. How'd it go? Tell me about it. It was fun. Not as petty as the other stuff you sent me out to hunt. I'm glad I didn't bore you. Can I see the tooth, please? Here, how about that reward? Reward? Oh, of course. Here you go. It's another painting. Yay. That's it. I'm gonna kill you. It's all I have, I swear. Well, maybe I could scrounge something up that would be a great reward. Although I couldn't possibly give that out for just killing a measly Rancor. Listen, get some rest, come back, and we'll discuss the next step. You're lucky I'm always up for a challenge. This time it better be worth it. It says, of course. Welcome back, Bum. Let me go over the details. Fine, but this time I want to see the reward up front. Fair enough. Let me give you the background details first. My last year as an active hunter, my clan sent me to the planet of Kashyyyk. It was a horrible place full of giant trees and inhabited by all sorts of strange aliens. Interesting, go on. As a vile planet as it is, the hunting there is the best there is. Dathomir almost pales in comparison to the wonderful beasts that inhabit Kashyyyk. My main purpose for being there, though, was Sawtooth. Sounds painful. They had a good dentist there. No, you fool. Sawtooth is a monstrosity of a beast. He's what locals on the planet call an uller, but they are nothing compared to him. 3 times as big and pale gray. No one knows how old he is and how many lives he's taken. Amazing. Did you find him? Indeed, I did. It took me several weeks, but one night I was finally face to face, or rather face to hoof, with the old beast, so he kicked your ass. Unfortunately, the mighty monstrosity had spotted me as well. He came charging at me, full speed. I carefully took aim, not wavering for a second, and started putting bolts in him, but it wasn't enough. What happened? He engulfed my weapon and took my arm right with it, tossing me into a tree. Dazed, I tried to escape, but he was too fast. He took both my legs in his mouth and tossed me around like I was a toy. Then, all of a sudden, he stopped and lumbered off. To this day, I don't know why he didn't finish the job. Well, typically, when you have your arm and legs ripped off, you usually die. You typically bleed out. The fact that you survived is amazing. But you must have been terribly injured. Indeed it was. I lay in that forest the entire night, staying alive with only the help of my steel will and lust for revenge. The next day, my Rodian clan brothers came upon me and took me back to camp. Incredible. It's almost like that's impossible. Yes, luckily a cybernetic scientist was to be found near our camp. He was brilliant at making arms, unfortunately not as good at the leg part. He put me back together and gave me the draft schematics for the parts, in case they needed repairs. If you manage to slay Sawtooth, I will give you the schematic to the ingenious arm cybernetics that you see on my very self. I'll get your revenge, Q. Excellent. I hope you can do it, my friend. Then I can finally put all this behind me. You will find the beast somewhere in the region called the Cookawir Forest. Return one of his eyeballs to prove the deed. I will never forget those eyes. Weird, considering it sounds like you met his hoof more than you met his eyesight. Alright, so we're going to fly over to Kachiro. So to get to the Cookawir Forest, you can always open your planet map. You select points of interest. You can see where the entrance door is, as well as some other locations. But I already know it's right over here. And we're going to use the door right here in the middle. The door over here on the left side is only present during life day. So we're going to click this door. It's going to send us into the dead forest. If you don't want to say Cookawir. And in here, you can't call mounts. But you can call creature mounts. So for me, I have a Whisper Bird because I think they're neat. They're not the fastest mount in the game. Some of the faster mounts would be Bolitar, Varactyl, Benjifants. I think Dewbacks and Bowls are pretty fast. But as soon as we enter, we're going to turn right. And we're going to head in this area of the dead forest. If you open your overhead map, you can kind of see sections with the points of interest. But we're going to go all the way back to this corner. These guys are level 30. I thought they were going to aggro me. So there's Sawtooth, a level 60 elite. This is why this quest series is rated level 60, even though the Rancors you'll fight on Dathomir, if you go to Dathomir, are going to be above that. For the most part. Anyways. As I should open with my slow AoEs. There we go. We're done. Now we leave. Wonder, can I get over this down tree? I think it's too tall. Oh, I can. Cool. It's one of the reasons why I like the flying creature mounts. You can just kind of fly over a lot of stuff. Back with Q. You are back. It's done. It's done, Q. It's done. Come here, Vum. Let me hug you. How did you do it? Unlike you, I had some luck. It was still tough. Eh. I bet it was, my friend. You are truly a god among men. Let me see that evil eye. Of course, here you go. Yuck, that's old Sawtooth's all right. Maybe now I can finally get it out of my mind. I can't begin to explain how grateful I am. As promised, though, the draft schematic is yours. A small gift in comparison to what you have done, my friend. Thank you, Q. So what happens now? I'm afraid that's it, my friend. I have no more challenges. You have surpassed me. Make sure to come by and visit now and then, if nothing else, but to share some memories. I will, Q. It was quite an adventure. I won't. So we got an upgrade to Leg Strike at level 72. So let's move that over. And like I said, we can upgrade to my next knife here that I've crafted. Let's grab that. You don't really need to keep this level 66 knife anymore. So our reward for doing this questline is this cybernetic arm. This is the cybernetic arm that allows you to do the Sure Shot ability, which basically gives you another special attack to use. You won't see a lot of people using this arm in the game, specifically because it does give you 4800 protection, but it occupies your bicep and tricep spots, so you miss 2 pieces of armor. So overall, it is less protection than what you would get by wearing armor. The only people that I really know that would use this in a build are spies going for as many abilities to have for an alpha strike, so a big, strong opener. There's probably some other builds you could play around with, but the more popular cybernetic arm is the one that gives the cybernetic shock ability, which we'll get doing another quest later. But that is the Great Hunter series. It's a nice little diversion before we go back into doing the legacy. So let's go over and do that after I put some stuff away, clean out my inventory, and refresh my buffs. While we're getting rebuffed, I did get one more point. So I have the entire bottom row of the officer specialization tree. These two either reduce the cooldown of the heal or improves the heal itself. Emergency Shield is a cool ability. It's basically like the medic stasis ability, if you're familiar with that. It can only be used on yourself. It basically makes the officer invincible for a short period of time, but they can't deal any damage. If I was going down the pistol line, I could be getting Cold Shot, which is a very good pistol ability. But we're going to be grabbing Crippling Vortex, so we get all of the last of our melee moves here. So let's grab Crippling Vortex. Alright, so I refreshed my buffs, got the Life Day buffs, because why not? And we're now back in Tyrina on Corellia, as the Legacy Quest is bringing us back to this planet. We're going to have to travel a little bit north outside of the city, though, to meet Jornell, to start the arc of which I guess we could call the Corellia Droid Factory arc, as we're going to be dealing with a bunch of droids for a while, I suppose, in preparation for, I don't know, some of the Mustafar plot arcs. So let's go ahead and drive all the way out that way. Here he is. What's up, Jorno? Ah, you must be the one agent Tarna talked about. Well, I'm glad to see you. We could use a capable individual. So what is it that you need from me? Sorry I turned you around on accident, my guy. We've got a real problem here. This cave here seems to contain an old droid factory from the Clone Wars. For some reason, it's been reactivated. If you are willing to help to go into the cave and talk to Lieutenant Varius, he will be in the Corsa command post. I'll talk to your lieutenant and see what he has to offer. Thank you. As I said, you can find the Corsa command post inside. Why was there a droid factory cave? Why was there a droid factory in a cave? I guess it's because Corellia is a core world, and it was likely under Republic control. But the Separatists were able to get a foothold and wanted to covertly manufacture droids closer to the core worlds. I don't know how they were shipping them off-world, though, if they intended to. This is just... Alright, pop quiz. What's the layout, everybody? You can see the overhead map. We've been in this place before. What is it? I'll give you a minute. Maybe I'll zoom out a little bit. That'll help you. If you've said Gamma Station or the Warren, you are correct. We are in Gamma Station / the Warren again. Either way, here is Various. I'm gonna call him Various. Lieutenant Various. You were the one Jordell mentioned. We could certainly use all the help you can get. So what can you tell me? If you are here to help, I'm glad to see you. If you are in the wrong, if not, you're in the wrong place. What's going on here? Why'd I have to ask you that twice? I'm gonna shake you. Don't make me say the same thing twice, motherfucker. It all started when Corsac received reports of clone war droids in the area. It didn't make much sense, but we were dispatched from Coronet to investigate. So what did you find? It turned out that the cave here contains an old, fully automated droid factory. It must have been here since the Clone Wars, possibly built in preparation for a possible invasion of Corellia. I'm just going to pass benefit of the doubt and say there were some insiders in Corellia helping the Separatists get to a core world without being noticed. Anyways. So what do you need me to do? Your mouth's no longer winded. Damn, all right. So what do you need me to do? How could a droid factory possibly end up here? Why not call in more forces to deal with the droids? Let's get to the chase. What do you need me to do? The first thing I need is for you to help me locate a group of men we initially sent into the caves to scout out the place. After their initial transmission, we lost all contact. The patrol was led by experienced officer Sergeant Hirka. I want you to locate them, alive or dead, and report back to me with what you find. Also, you should talk to Druno Kreener and Sergeant Menner. They will have other tasks you might be interested in. Okay, I'll see what I can do. Thank you. All right, so we're back to the good old go to a place, pick up all the side quest stuff method. All right. Hello, I am Druno Kenner, the team's technical officer. So what are you working on? Well, the first problem we have is that we've lost contact with the outside world. It seems that all the old machinery is interfering with communications. The transmitter we have is just not strong enough. Anything I can do to help? Yes, in order to reestablish communications, we'll need to start the emergency power generator and then reactivate the old antenna relay. You can find both in the rooms east of here. Okay. Hello there. I'm looking for someone to help us try destroying the droids that are swarming the facility. Are you up for a little fighting? That's simple enough. Good to hear. I need you to go focus on destroying at least 10 battle droids in the corridors. You'll find them all over the place once you leave the command post. Return to me once you put down 10 of the walking scrap heaps. That one's easy. This guy's like, go find my lost crew. This guy's like, hey, go start like setting up stuff from the facility. This guy's like, kill all sons of bitches. I'm like, that one I could do, man. I'm pretty good at that one. So they're all level 50. Okay, it's a channel, but it's short. Thank you. We're gonna be. I'm not super familiar with this part of the Legacy Quest series. To be honest, I don't even remember this. Talus, I remembered. This, I don't remember coming back to the Warren again. And I feel like I would. Oh yeah, I guess I should drop Crippling Vortex on the next group. It's definitely not your most powerful AoE, especially since it doesn't benefit from the AoE bonuses you get in your expertise tree for some reason. But it is a 5th AoE to have. It's more useful in PvP because it's an area of effect route. So that's pretty baller. Okay, we gotta go back to him. Let's go blow up 3 more droids before we return. So we can return with 2 things at once. I don't want to fight the SPD because I haven't been told to kill SPDs yet. These guys might fight me, so I'm just gonna... Alright. Let's head back and turn the 2 side quests as we progress from the point where we can do that. I think I already see what the Lost Squad is. Thank you, overhead map. So powerful. When I was playing Star Wars The Republic with the Griffin, I kept trying to open an overhead map. I'm just so used to playing with it, man. Looks like you can cut through the battle droids without any trouble. Well done. With their numbers reduced, we can start gunning for the bigger game. So what's next? Are you ready for another fight? Sure, what do you need destroyed? Super battle droids. Now that you've thinned out the number of battle droids, it's time to go for the big boys. That's kind of endearing, but okay. And you destroy at least 10 super battle droids throughout the factory. Can I count on you? Bring them. Here's Druno. You did it. Communications are back online. We can finally getting somewhere. Now we can start focusing on how to disable the factory before we're overrun with droids. So what's next? With communications reestablished, we can start working on how to shut down this factory. The first task will be to access the manual override terminals throughout the middle part of the facility. If the terminals were activated, I would be able to directly access the factory security systems. I'm guessing you want me to find those terminals. Yeah, I was hoping that you'd be willing to handle that. Yeah, I can handle that. Okay. Let's get them. So I don't know how many SBDs are scattered throughout this place. So I'm just gonna be basically targeting all sons of bitches. Ooh, they're elite. That's a nice little lore mix-up. I was expecting them just to maybe be a level or two higher, but that they made them significantly tougher than the battle droids, relatively speaking, is good. Here's a factory terminal. I like that even though this is just the Warren / Gamma Station again, they did put some things in here haphazardly to try and make it look more like a different facility, even though maybe not the most cleanly connected decorative pieces. Gonna look down here. I don't think anything's there. Nope. I'm running down here because I think this one, yeah, might be an SBD. Is there a terminal down here for me to click? Nope, that was just to kill the SBD. Considering they're elites and they seem to be spread pretty far out, I think I am going to need to go out of my way to find all these super battle droids. So it's good that I am making an effort to find them, because I don't want to get to the end of the middle section of the facility and then be like, I'm out. Where are they? So yeah, here's Sergeant Hirka. It's good to see another living being. We've been trapped here for a while now. You'll see the Sergeant, Lieutenant Various sent me to look for you and your patrol. That's good to hear. If you get the chance, please let Varia know that we are doing okay. Droid patrols cut off our line and retreat and fortify this room and reinforcements. Wait, that's it? Do I have to go back now? Oh my god. I have a communicator, and I just reestablished communication, so why can't I just call back? It is a little weird, the jump in levels, because the end of the last quest line had us fighting like 44s and 45s. This one actually has us just go straight up to 50. Which is still not enough to catch up to the leveling gap that we have, but... Dr. Juno. Wait, that's it for this guy? He just had me go find his lost crew and be like, oh good, I'm glad they're okay. But he has nothing else for me to do. He just tells me to go talk to this guy about shutting down the facility, which I'm already working on. Okay, that's kind of awkward, but whatever. I thought Lieutenant Various was gonna be like the main driving like plot here, but apparently not. Apparently that's all he had to say. Died before the artillery went off. Let's go this way. That apparently was Terminal 2, so that we're halfway there. Yeah, on the overhead map, you can see like a single enemy standing in a room. You're like, yeah, it's an SBD. I don't need to fight that guy. I saw red and I'm like, oh, it's dead. Let's go to the dead end on the left side first before we go right. There are a lot of droids walking around. They must be getting manufactured deeper in the base because I don't really see how, they'd be doing any of that. That was overkill. But it looked cool. Alright, here's a good question. Whoever designed this quest, do you think they had to drop every single one of these, like, folded up battle droids individually? Or did they have, like, a painting tool? Or did they, like, group them as one model and drop them all at once? Because look how many of them they have up there and they're over here. My guess is they probably group them as one model and then drop them as a line. So they don't have to, like, make that line once, and then they just have to drop it, like, 5 more times. They really couldn't be bothered to hire another artist or model for this quest series, huh? They just dropped a bunch of concrete blocks around. But like, yeah, this looks like a rail. I give them props for what they have. All right, here's another SPD hanging out in a room by himself. And here's the last terminal. Question is, do I keep going hunting SPDs or do I go back? How many SPDs do I have? Let me just take a peek in the next room. If there's like groups of them, or maybe I'll just have enough time to where a couple near the front will respawn. Because I feel like it's gonna have us hunt like something else. So I kind of want to like these droidicas. This SBD feels a little bit bigger than the others, but apparently it isn't. I don't know why this SBD's in jail. I almost think I can turn around now, and I feel like, yeah, some of the ones towards the beginning of respawn, so we'll just turn around and get those guys on the way back for our last one. And then we'll probably get a quest to destroy the droidicas. Just a hunch. I guess in canon, super battle droids were introduced canonically after droidicas. But canonically, droidicas or destroyer droids are still seen as more dangerous than a SPD because of their personal shield generators. So I guess that's why they're next after SPDs. Hold on. Alright, so back with Minner, who's probably going to ask us to do droidicas. 10 piles of a super battle droid scrap. Good job. Why'd you capitalize scrap? Whatever. With those gone, the eventual assault on the factory core will be a lot easier. Thanks. With the number of super battle droids reduced, we're now looking to strike at the core of the facility. If you're up for it, I want you to go after the droidicas that guard the center of the facility. Dismantle droidicas coming right up. That's what I want to hear. Good hunting. I just did a hunting quest, but I guess now I'm hunting droids. I've been tracking the systems, and now that you've activated the 4 terminals, I'm able to disable a number of the factory's security systems. So can you shut down the factory? Unfortunately not. However, I have ensured that, I'm ensured that if it's shut down, it won't be possible to reactivate again. I believe Lord Various wanted to talk about shutting down this thing for good. Oh, okay. So now I'm bounced back to Lieutenant Various, not Lord. It looks like your work with the Druno has paid off. Thanks to your effort, Druno has identified a way to destroy the factory's production capabilities. So what's next step? Druno has disabled the factory's backup systems. This means that if we can shut the factory down, it won't be able to restart itself. We need someone to make their way to the deepest part of the factory. Someone down there is control. Somewhere down there is a control override terminal. Activate the terminal and the factory should shut down for good. Are you up for this? Might as well see it through. I know we can count on you. Find the terminal and disable the production system. And we get Anakin Skywalker's replica cybernetic forearm. Oh, that's where you get this item from? Oh. I didn't know that. The more you know. How many droidicas do we need? 5? I still feel like, I mean, I guess they thought that crafters would bridge the gap in like the weapons necessary for leveling, but it's kind of weird that like none of the legacy quests since the Salonians at the very beginning of the Talos Legacy give you a weapon, and even then the Salonians only give you a carbine. It's just weird because throughout the Tatooine Legacy, they do a really good job of giving the players options and weapons. So it's strange that this kind of falls off at this point. Well, honestly, it fell off our way through Naboo. Because Naboo gives you some weapons, right? I've already blacked... Well, you can get weapons out of Borville's vault. Yeah. There should be more quests where it gives you, like, some weapon options. Because it's not common for crafters to make weapons at a lower level, because most people just revolve around using reward weapons for as long as they want, either quest-wise or profession-wise. Alright, so this is our last droidica, which now we need to go back. Yeah, we'll go back later. Let's go activate the control override terminal, which is, I guess, up there. And then there's something in this room. Prototype droid. Yeah, we're gonna have to deal with that later. It's probably gonna be like, go get friends. Right, so here's the factory control terminal. Oh, good, it's a channel, my favorite. Oh, we gotta go back. That's it. Let's just click that terminal. All right. I'd run all the way back. This is definitely a mission quest series where you want to have either Akaragamon to boost your movement speed like I do, or put that go with the flow in your entertainer buff. That's a lot of walking through a long cave. I mean, I always vouch for those while doing any A to B stuff in this game, but this quest where you're running back and forth in here, it helps speed it up quite a bit. That was one of the pains of Tansari. There's no way to increase your base movement speed because I don't think... Yeah, entertainers wouldn't have enough expertise points to unlock Go With The Flow, I think, in their expertise tree. Because they can only get up to 10 on Tansari, which apparently now lets you get into your expertise, which I don't remember that always being a thing. I remember that you used to have to land to get into your expertise tree, but I guess on Legends now, that's not a restriction anymore. But yeah, even if entertainers get access to their tree, I don't think they have enough points to fill out Go With The Flow. I know I could probably navigate this place without the overhead map, but why would I? All right, back with Sergeant. Well done. That's 5 less Droidicas that I'll be gunning for. Thanks. Well done. You took down 5 Droidica, I know. Not a small feat by any standard. However, I've had reports of a new type of droid, a prototype, if you will, somewhere in the bottom of the complex. This one is supposed to be a tough one. If you want... You might want to bring some friends if you're going to try to take it down. I'm up for it. Sounds good. Come back to me once it's destroyed. It's not marked as a group quest, interestingly. 50k XP for killing one droid? Oh, what the hell? Hi, IG-88. I'll talk to you in a minute. Let's finish with the Lieutenant first. That's a little distracting. The Lieutenant says you managed to destroy the factory's control system. Thank you. With the production stop, the crisis has been contained. We'll still need to defeat the remaining forces in there, but for now, the disaster has been avoided. I'm glad I could be of assistance. Before you head off, I have a favor to ask. An associate of mine, Warnell Covington, is looking for someone of your skills to assist him with a personal matter. If you would, please travel to Rori and speak with him. IG-88, who called us, says, it would seem that you were responsible for shutting down the factory. I had plans for that installation. Plan which I will now have to alter. It's missing a word. It says I had plans for that installation. Plan which that I will now have to alter. I'll find another way to repay you. I have a feeling I will see you again at some point in the future. Oh, I guess this was foreshadowing the Droid Factory instance on Locke, where you fight IG-88, where you is able to put a Droid Factory there into effect. Interesting. Oh yeah, I guess I'm 74 now, so let's get additional target identification back, make our sure shot and paint target a little strong against enemies already afflicted with it. Afflicted with paint target, that is. That'll come in handy if we keep fighting these chunkier enemies where we'll be getting more than like one paint target and one sure shot off before they die. Specifically, we'll probably see better returns than that on Kashyyyk, Nim's Legacy, and Mustafar. I don't really think we'll see too much of a boon on it in Legacy. Alright, so we're all the way down here. Back again, face to face with the prototype droid at level 50 with 70,000 XP. For comparison, or 70,000 HP. For comparison, the droidicas we were fighting were level 52 with 19,000 experience. So we'll take this a little serious. I'll put on my weapon damage pups. Oh, interesting. It's the like droid engineering model. We'll see this again on Mustafar when we get there. All right, who's ready to rock? Oh, my charge didn't pop off, man. What's up, Ryan? Welcome. Again, my power gem pop off because I keep pressing the wrong key. He'd be dead by now. Oh, I got a higher level core bomb. Should have been using that. Yeah, I think we gotta go for ACRs, man. Can you guys stop shooting me? Yeah, he wasn't too bad for our gear setup. More dots. Nah, man. More booms. So you took down that prototype droid. Hey, well done. I honestly didn't think you could pull it off. Kind of weird. Is this an XP boon? And they didn't have like a cool reward with it. I know it's just like they don't want to pigeonhole you into doing group content. But obviously I sold it, and I think most players probably would be able to, even without like the gearing and stuff that I have. Just because of the pacing and the leveling. It's kind of weird that there wasn't even like a credit payout. But for doing all those quests, we did get the Anakin Skywalker forearm. Which, if you did want to use this for aesthetics, you can go to a cybernetic doctor and have it put it in an appearance slot, so you could have the forearm without having to, you know, actually wear cybernetics. Or, I guess it could be deconstructed and taken to an engineering trader and recrafted to have better stats. But I don't know any builds that would just only use a cybernetic forearm. Typically, you want a full cybernetic arm. But yeah, I don't know how that would shake out. Okay, so we gotta go to Rori. Alright, so here we are on normal, or on Rori in normal. This is gonna be the Rori leg of the Legacy quest. That return to Corellia was quite brief. But here is Warnell Covington. Who are you? Lieutenant Vari has sent me. Oh, did he? Well, perhaps you might be of use to me then. Let me explain. Many, many years ago, when I was a much younger man in a galaxy far, far away, with a hot, much better look, my daughter, Felicia, was kidnapped. She was the most precious thing in the galaxy to me, and yet she was snatched away. Sorry to hear that. Yes, let me continue. Despite attempts to pay the ransom and the best efforts of law enforcement officers, the entire ordeal went badly. Very badly. One of the went poorly. Whatever. Felicia was killed. She was jettisoned into space from the starship on which she was being held. Brutal. From that moment onward, I have dedicated my life to tracking down and destroying people who committed this horrible act. How awful. I feel like my stuff is just placating him, but whatever. I've spared no expense in tracking down the kidnappers one by one, and I have personally struck the killing blow each time one was found. All of the original kidnappers are now dead, except for 2. Those last 2 have evaded me and are now my age and dwindling wealth have forced me to turn to someone else for assistance. Will you help me? How much dwindling wealth? I cannot take part in such violence. I must pass. Who earnestly wrote that line? Please raise your hand. I'm not gonna make fun of you. I just want to know what you were thinking writing this line in the case where the Legacy quest literally has us slaughtering probably people who have done less. Like petty thieves, kids riding swoop bikes, like pretty low bar stuff. And now killing people, killing kidnappers who killed a child is now like, I can't partake in that one, man. Maybe the quest author didn't play the rest of the game. I don't know. I will. Those men must pay for what they did. Good. Let's waste no time. First, we must identify the last 2 kidnappers. I think I finally have an idea how to do that. Horace Core was a reporter from the Corellia Times back during the kidnapping, and he covered it in the news. Speak with him and find out if he knows their identity. I'll make sure he's expecting you. Oh, wow. He's not even like 200 meters away. He's just right around over here, huh? Mr. Covington has already filled me in on what you need and what you and he are doing. Can't say I completely approve of what you're doing, but can't say I disapprove either. Whoops. Can you help? I think I can. Should be easy enough. I'll provide you with access codes to the Corellian Times archive terminal in Coronet. Simply go look up the reports I did on the kidnapping. Okay, you didn't keep copies of all of your work? I would have. Whatever, maybe it was a legal thing, like you couldn't keep copies. We're going back to Coronet, everybody. Your favorite. I know it's your favorite. Raise your hand. I see it. I see you in the back. You love Coronet. You got Han Solo t-shirt where it's Han's face on the front, Dengar's on the back. Big Corellia fan. I know your favorite part about it is that's yellow in this game. None of the new like depictions of Corellia look anything like the depiction of Corellia in this game. They all kind of make it look pretty much like Ord Mantell, or it's just very industrialized and whatever, which is a fair interpretation. But this one, it's like, yeah, let's do a lot of like rolling like wheat fields. It's like, I eat. All right, so here's the terminal. Now the archive is outside. Nothing in the archive sheds that much light on the kidnapping, but I'm certain I knew who the kidnappers were. You'll have to find my notes on the crime. They would be in an old warehouse in Narmal, where much of my old belongings are stored. Okay, so he did keep copies. Then why did you send us to Corellia? Why didn't you just say, oh, I have some backups over here. Just go to the warehouse down the street and pick them up. Why send me all the way back to Corellia? You just wasting my time? Are you giving me the runaround? Are you one of the kidnappers? Are you trying to cover for them right now? Are you trying to buy time? Do I need to kill you, man? I have no qualms with killing a potentially innocent man at this point in the Legacy quest, considering all the rampant murder we've done in the name of whatever justice or group we're following. I mean, we've been doing everything from hits for hits for Jabba the Hutt to counterintelligence operations for the rebellion. Like, whatever, man. I'm down for whatever, as long as you're paying. It's just another warehouse stuck into the butt of the starport. Love it. Look at that. Also, you know, these runes beg a question. So these are clearly like Rori Gungan runes, right? So was the starport here first? Or did they just build the starport, butted up against ruins, and then scattered a bunch of crafting stations around them? And mission terminals. Like, in terms of world building, this brings up way more questions than answers. Also, I love the Z fighting. Anyway, on the walls, but anyways. So what the fuck's going on out here? Oh, someone's hand sampling. Alright, here we are at the bunker. That's full of thugs? A warehouse thug? What are they doing? Is this warehouse not higher security? Is this full of, or is this a criminal warehouse and it's just cheaper than a non-criminal warehouse for you to store stuff here? I don't understand. Whatever. Hi, guys. Datapad. They're all level 52. Yeah, again, why didn't we just do this first? Why did I have to go to Corellia? I feel like maybe the quest author thought we were going to do something, like they were going to do something on Corellia, but then they're like, I don't know what we're doing. Let's go back to Rori. Screw it. Back with Horus, though. Yes, this is it. The last two kidnappers are Vladlen Travan and Jurgen Nath. That's a name. Vladlen was the one who planned and organized the crime, while Jurgen was simply hired muscle. A true thug, that one. Probably cared more about the opportunity to hurt someone than for making some credits. That's very assumptive of you, but sounds like they unquestionably deserve what's coming. We are justice. I am the law. Probably true. Return to Mr. Covington. I'm certain he's eager to put this information to use. Okay. That was enough to level me up, even though the reward was like 3,500 XP. Orv's already contacted me with their names. Now we must find them and eliminate them. I have an associate in the Narmal militia. He can get their last known location, but requests a favor. What's the favor? He needs someone to reactivate the security terminals through Narmal. Go do that, and you should be easy enough. What? Is this like a quest to get me acquainted with the city? Is that why you're having me do this? But why would the Narmal militia set up security terminals that they would need to manually go interface with to Why am I reactivated? Why are they deactivated? Why are they deactivated? Were they down for maintenance and the maintenance crew just like did IT forget to flip them back on? What if they don't explain what these security terminals do? I'm gonna start rioting. Like, I know I hold a low bar for the quest writing, but so far they've had me go to Corellia for no reason, and now I'm flipping security terminals, which I can see as a quest to, like, have you get acquainted with the city by searching around, paying attention. Like, if they're going to use the city as a big hub for doing a lot of things. But, like, what am I doing? It's like the same thing with the Corellia Dropbox quest. Like, oh, people don't have access to things, so they put it in drop boxes around the city. Go collect them. And I'm like, we're in some science fantasy future shit where you got, like, lasers that can stop and be used as, like, cutting weapons. And you got hyperdrives and shit. But you can't set up a public terminal for people to use for, like, civic things, like voting and stuff? Like, what? What? They can't use email? Like, I'm having a hard time believing that, especially when Coordinate is, like, a metropolitan area. If it was... Like, if we were on Tatooine, and we were, like, in Anchorhead, or, like, Mos Taiki, or something, then maybe I'd be like, yeah, sure, maybe some people here are illiterate, even though literacy in the Star Wars universe seems really low, like shockingly low. Maybe you need the drop boxes for people to like submit things, or maybe there's, you know, a really good use of the drop boxes would be like Meatlumps, because they're, you know, Luddites, so they technically they supposed to avoid using technology where they can. Of course, they compromise that in their choice of weapons, using energy weapons. I don't know why they don't all use melee weapons or kinetic weapons, but I'll let it slide. But I just don't understand why you would set that up like that way. It's very bad world building. I'm starting to forget which ones I already clicked. I don't think I did the ones around the starport. I think there's one in front of the starport. I think there's one in front of the hotel. Also 6-9, nice. We weren't very level 6-9 for very long, unfortunately. Sorry, everybody. It's the terminal missions. You ever just stand outside the normal hotel and break it down? Yeah, me neither. Okay, we'll meet one more terminal. I'm seeing a lot of named NPCs standing in awkward corners. Ah, here we go. It is behind the starport. That wasn't too bad. Okay, you better... Excuse me? Shout out to the bunker where Jurgen it. So we reactivated the terminals because... Okay, so... The normal militia can obtain the location of these individuals. So we found Jurgen by flipping the terminals back on. But the terminal was a favor. It was superfluous to them actually finding the location of these criminals. But we don't even talk to any of the normal militia. It's just as soon as I clicked the 9th terminal, they instantly knew that I was done with the favor and they sent me the information. And now I have to go out to, like, literally the center of the map almost. This corner is 201, negative 894. Okay, it's a little off from the middle. To go defeat Jurgen. What? So what do the terminals do? Other than work as a game mechanic to get me used to the city. Whatever. I feel like, you know, some of these quests writing, it's clear that it got phoned in. And it's not, like, consistent across the quest line. But I already feel like this Rori section is going to be a real mind melter for me in terms of the quality of writing. Like, Talus was a mind melter in that I had to kill, like, almost 200 spiders. without break. Like, every single quest was just kill 30 more spiders, basically. And that was a little bit of a brain drainer, but that was at least just mindless slaying. This is like I'm reading it, and then I'm following the like logical steps of the events, and I'm like, what are we doing? What's going on? He is down there. Okay, so he's north of me. I just targeted Jurgen. I haven't seen any named NPCs or side quests, by the way, so I'm not gonna waste time in the Zerka base again. Or White Thranta base. He is in this big room. Hello, you're tall. You're dead. Now we defeat his... Now we go somewhere else to defeat Vladun's henchman. And then himself. Why didn't I have to defeat Jurgen's henchman? See, this is like one of another good example that I've mentioned before while we were doing the Naboo Legacy quest. When I went to go get the Droidica shield from like part 3 of the like Old Republic chip like droid series on Naboo. We go to a base outside Deja Peak filled with like droids. But literally I just had to go down, go to the back right and kill one thing and then walk out. Someone dropped this base down here, populated with NPCs, comically close to the Jedi statue with a Jedi here called a melodramatic Jedi who doesn't want to talk to me. Which is a Chiss? One of the few Chiss in the game. And, anyways... I had me come all the way out of here, do this thing, and then now I have to go all the way over here. I'm just gonna drive. I'm like, New Dawn's like slightly closer, but I don't know if it's close enough to make that much of a difference, so we're just gonna drive. But anyways, yeah, so they dropped that base, put NPCs throughout it, named Jurgen's Bandits or whatever. You don't have to do anything there other than kill him. Because now going to the other base was like, you know, defeat 19 of this dude's henchmen, then hit and him, and like, that's okay, sure, whatever. But in that base, I just showed up, killed one guy, and left. Like, the amount of time it took them to write this quest, construct it, drop the base there, fill the base, was significantly longer than the 45 seconds I spent in it. Like, that's such bad ROI in terms of quest design. Like, I know this killing a billion of spiders shit's obnoxious, but at least, like, dragged out the amount of time I was in the locations they were in. So in terms of, like, keeping me subscribed when this game was a subscription model, I can at least see what the purpose of it was. But this is, like, it starts with me going to Corellia to waste my time, to come back and do a thing, and then click terminals that make no sense in the plot, to come out here and kill one guy and then leave. You support rewriting the legacy? Yeah, no, I mean, I support... If not rewriting the legacy, at least making a new legacy, you know what I mean? Because there's part of me's like has the preservationist idea of like, well, I kind of like seeing it in its original state so people can go back, look on it. But I know SWG sources out there, so if you really want to see the preservationist part, you can go look at that. Like Legends has no obligation to keep the game as it was in any way, and I support a lot of the changes they have done. And the other part of me is like, so for context, I majored in media in college. That's what my bachelor's is in. And I firmly believe that all media created should be, you know, archived. We shouldn't lose that or erase it. But then we run into stuff like this where I'm like, honestly, if you erased this and redid it, it would be a loss, but I don't think it'd be a major loss. Like, I wouldn't be as upset as, like, you know, if you were to erase Mustafar entirely. Like, I'd be like, man, come on, that was kind of, like, interesting. This is, like, honestly, I feel like somebody very jaded got told, hey, do this content and eat my butt. And they're like, yeah, fine, fuck it, I will. Screw you. And they just did something. They did whatever they needed to do to get paid. But I guess, you know, that's still a statement that's valuable. So I'm not going to say, yeah, we should scrub this from history, but I'm also not going to be like, this is a treasure. I love you, Line of Sight. You're so bad. Be writing new content, inserting legacy quests where it can in it, otherwise keeping the old legacy in the game. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. I respect that. I think the thing, though, that would need to mainly be done is the quest scaling, because, like, I think even beyond just rewriting the legacy, it'd be not ass. I think the bigger problem is from the gameplay's perspective. Again, if I wasn't running XP buffs, I still be way over where I'm supposed to be in terms of XP. Like, I guarantee it. And while, yeah, I've done a few side quests, like the Clone Relics quests, and I guess I did some mission terminals today, I would still be, like, way over level, 50 here. Oh. Hi, Boba Fett. What the fuck? What are you doing here? I've heard about you taking a lot of jobs that involve getting your hands bloody, or at least dirty. I'd like to know what that new talent is capable of handling. Are you hitting on me? Whether you're a bounty hunter or not. After all, I may have to hunt you someday, so with that in mind, I'm going to throw 3 bounties your way. I've already done the hard part and tracked them to this bunker. See if you can handle the rest. I can handle it. Well, we'll see, won't we? Is Boba Fett stalking me? What? Why are you hanging out the front of a bunker being like, here, go do my job? I'm gonna shit. They're like, yeah, we have access to these iconic characters. What should we do? Have him stand in the front of a nameless fucker's bunker and have you go kill random dudes in it. I'm having a breakdown on... I knew it. The legacy was going to get me eventually, and it wasn't the killing 100 spiders. It was the terrible writing and world building that is this Rori legacy so far. But Tatooine seems like you're overleveled. By the end of Tatooine, it's easy to, like, wasn't I like level 30 or something in this playthrough? And then by the end of Naboo, I was level 44, which then Corellia legacy carries on to being level 30, and then like post it, like you're just so like out of whack for the rest of the area. Apparently this is a macro dump zone, so someone was farming this at some point where the devs went, no, we got to put a dump zone here. I just, like, again, I've always thought about doing an analytical video on Star Wars Galaxies as like an experience. But it's hard for me to do that without talking about the game's history and development history, which everyone's already talked to death, right? But it's hard to talk about this game's design and implementation without discussing that, at least to some degree, specifically because, again, a lot of early content implemented in this game, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was throughout the existence of the game, it wasn't like people hired specifically to design quests or write quests like you now have in more modern MMOs. But instead just like, hey, QA person, we need content. Go write some shit and implement it using this tool set. Or, hey, CSR person, you do this. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like somebody on... like, they didn't hire a writer. They didn't hire a writer. It's obvious they didn't hire a writer. You don't even need to, like, look in the game's history to see that no one with any writing experience really did anything. Didn't work on this. And if somebody did, hey... I'm just judging you on the base of your work, okay? I'm not saying... I'm sure you've gotten better, or at least I hope so, for your career's sake. But, like... it isn't Star Wars, man. And, like, this game was being developed in the, like, peak of the prequel era, in terms of, like, excitement around it coming back, and other Star Wars video games coming out. Like, this game came out during what people like to address as the Star Wars games renaissance, where we had, like, you know, like, Outcast, KOTOR, KOTOR 2, you know, Rogue Squadron, a lot of really good Star Wars games. So you think that people would be not only excited to be able to, like, go into the Star Wars universe more, but also, like, add to that collection of Star Wars games going on. Oh, apparently I did everything. Apparently, if there's a downstairs, I don't need to go there. Is this elevator even work? But... instead, you get shit like this, where it's just like, let's stick Boba Fett up here, and he does some power fantasy shit where he's like taken an interest in you since Jabba's palace, which he was already interested in you in, at the end of that, because he's like, oh, this guy's like taking work from me. Maybe there's something. And then, but not to show up at any critical point in the plot line. Oh, cool. But he shows up to randomly at a nameless ass bunker, standing here as a side quest giver. He's not even marked as one. And he just says passable, I suppose. I'm underwhelmed mostly, but you did manage to complete my bounties. That's something. I'm underwhelmed too by your presence here, Boba. It actually set me off. So I guess you have more an effect than I have an effect on you. It's terrible. Also, right next to this, here's Siren's quest point. What's up, Zalvinar? Not sure Modern WoW is drastically better in narrative quest design, in fairness. I haven't played World of Warcraft, so I can't comment. But comparing it to other MMOs that have come after it, like Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, and Star Wars The Old Republic, like when I was playing Star Wars The Old Republic again for the first time in years, yes, last Wednesday with Griffin Striker, like even just the side quest where like there's some character dynamicism, I'm just like, oh my god, somebody who put like an ounce of thought into the writing. And I'm not even saying like there was grandiose decisions in all the side quests we did on the starter planet. It was just like, oh, this person went off hunting because they were put in a bad situation by the Jedi here who were refusing to help them because the Jedi were more occupied with the flesh hunters. Like, just like someone thought about it for a second. It was like, yeah, I'll do something somewhat passably interesting. Like a lot of the content here just isn't even passably interesting. I'm not surprised WoW's basic. Has to be with more fleshed out in canon, headcanon, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, anytime you make a Star Wars game, you're going to be fighting a lot of legacy IP with that. Especially since now we have an official split in canon and legacy continuums, and there's been a lot of good Star Wars stuff, like I mentioned, like KOTOR, Jedi Outcast, Dark Forces, etc. So when you're narratively completing with those games that maybe had people who were writers hired to write them, it's a tough comparison. It's kind of almost like comparing like the modern equivalent of like the Star Wars mobile app games that are this here to suck your money, and then like against Jedi Fallen Order, right? It's like, yeah, they're Star Wars games and they're coming out approximately the same time, but obviously one had a very different intention than the other. It's just when you take a game and label it as an RPG, I expect opportunities to role play, and none of the quests. Let me walk back. Few of the quests allow you to do that, and even fewer let you do it in any meaningful way. And I'm like, well, okay, sure, well, maybe we'll have good world building, but a lot of these quests don't even do any world building work. Even environmentally, there's some interesting environmental storytelling that happens in certain locations. But again, you get like weird, silly shit like these security terminals around normal I have to flip, but then they don't explain what they do and why I have to do that. Oh yeah, I mean, early WoW probably sucked ass narratively too. Like, I don't hear anyone talk about WoW's story prior to Lich King, to be honest, Wrath of the Lich King. I've talked to a lot of WoW nerds, because I had a lot of coworkers that were WoW nerds, and none of them really, like, even Cataclysm. They're like, yeah, gameplay-wise, Cata was awesome, but, like, no one ever talks about the plot. Yeah, see, Ryan's even got it. Like, Wrath of the Lich King on was a lot better in terms of narrative storytelling. So, it makes sense. I think in the era of, like, MMO design, their MMOs are really big games, right? And they're very difficult, and they've always have been. And in the era Star Wars Galaxies came out, it's like narrative was definitely an accessory to whatever was going on. It was more like the online experience rather than like covering all the bases, and World of Warcraft had to play catch up. And they eventually did. Star Wars Galaxies wasn't successful, so they didn't have the resources to play catch up. Endgame BC had nice stories. All right. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people wax about Burning Crusade to me. So all right, so here's Wardell. Finally, I can be at peace. Thank you. You've made an old man very happy. I should be extremely generous to you and bringing me such a peace after all these years. You said you were out of money. I'm glad to be of service. And you didn't even reward me with any money. You just gave me XP and told me to speak with Lieutenant Tark, who says, oh, before I forget, my associate with the Normal Militia mentioned an RSF officer in Normal who is in need of assistance. Report to him if you're interested in more work. He's like, I'm going to be very generous, then rewards me with nothing. Awesome. He's Lieutenant Orden Tark. Doesn't look like an RSF individual. So instead of offering direct assistance to the normal militia sends you. Typical. So be it. This is the situation. Some small cybernetic labs in the area have recently been the victims of several break-ins. Nothing physical has been taken, but the lab techs fear that their research has been compromised. How do I fit into this? You are my investigation team. Your whole team. Okay. Which means it's you and me on this. I need you to help me track down whatever is doing this and apprehend them, or whoever is doing this, apprehend them. You'll start by investigating one of the cybernetic labs and looking for anything that might help identify the perpetrator. I'll get started right away. I'll upload the location to your most recent break-in to you. Okay. Well, this sounds interesting at least. It's not just, hey, go murder people. I'm like, okay. I still can't believe they tried to play the, oh, this is too violent for me shit. Different styles. Burning Crusade, Wrath, Kata had really nice stories and feel because it brought up core stories and finished things. Warcraft 2 and 3. Okay, that makes sense. Kata was very original and new. The vibes would zoom in the quest and could probably rant about it as much as SWG. Yeah, probably. That's one of the things I'm keeping a look at with my playthrough of Star Wars: The Old Republic with Griffin Striker. I'm interested to see how well some of the quests hold up, and I feel that a lot of the side content that's universally experienced by classes in that game will hold up, but I chose to do the Jedi Consular story, which is popularly known as the least exciting of the plot lines, if not the worst. So that should be a good experience. Griffin's playing the Jedi Knight, which is known as one of the best ones. On one of the lab data terminals, you find an attempt to log onto it with the name Ponda Baba. Whoa, he's from the movie. Remember in Cantina where he gets his arm cut off by Obi-Wan? Whoa. But there is no record of Ponda Baba working at that lab. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't think Ponda Baba is a scientist. I mean, he might be. I don't know. I want to judge. You have a lot more fun playing WoW Classic for Burning True Wrath. You did leveling a tune through Legacy. Fair. I like Legacy for what it is, which is like, oh cool, the stims are level 72 now. I never knew the officer stims progress with your level in the base field supply box crate. That makes it a lot better than I thought it was. I thought you had to spec into it to get better stims. You still want to spec into it if you want to get the like really good level 85 stims, but that elevates field supply drop a little bit. I like Legacy just for like the nostalgia and having experienced it. Clearly, I'm not doing this because I'm like, ooh, I want that deep lore. It's been helpful having these streams upload to YouTube to come your long Legacy grinds distract. Oh, good. I'm glad that you're enjoying them for those reasons, Alvinar. That's part of the reason they're there. A lot of the Star Wars streams are people usually open them and like have it open when they're doing their own grinds and stuff. So having streams up that are set to content you're actively doing is fine. I don't upload all of my streams because I don't think anyone needs 890 parts of me doing the same smuggler mission. So, all right, so we're back with Lieutenant Orden. This Ponda Baba must be our guy. According to the RSF records, he's a small-time thug who usually works out of the Tatooine system. Looks like he lost an arm in an altercation with Mos Eisley, which is probably why he's after cybernetics. Your next move will be to track him down. How do I do that? A Neo-Cobral gang operating near Normal is in tune with most of the underworld action happening in the area. Go convince them to reveal anything they might know about how to find Ponda Baba. So this I like. They're taking a minor character from the films, from canon, and building out an aspect about them. So you saw Ponda Baba in episode 4, loses an arm. If you lose an arm in the setting, what would you do? Probably figure out how to afford or get a cybernetic implant. And, you know, Tatooine probably doesn't have the experts to do that. But maybe, you know, Naboo or its moon Rori might. This is an interesting premise, and I like this. The whole talk to a random guy who wants revenge, go to no-name places and do nothing. It doesn't really do much for me. This is a little bit more interesting. Just conceptually. I'm not going to say it's well written yet, but conceptually this is more interesting. All right, we're at the Neo-Corbel base. What do I have to do? Go convince them to reveal. Tell me about Ponda Baba. Nothing found. Tell me about Ponda Baba. Oh, I need to Akarag him. Cat's clicked on it. She's next to me. Looked at her face and she's like, ugh. The Neo Corval didn't know much about Ponda Baba except that he had been looking for some help in obtaining high-tech cybernetics. Word is that he approached the Garian Raiders. Okay, again, why is there a whole bunker full of these guys when I didn't need to kill that many? I mean, I guess it's here for these people to AFK, because there's 2 people in the AFK. Alright, so here we are at the Garian Raiders. And we must interrogate them again. Will I have to go in the base this time? So I wanted to address this thing, because I always say that we're killing everybody, but some of these quests tend to imply that you're not killing them, you're just incapacitating them. Well, if that's true, then why is it anytime I defeat something it says a corpse of? We are definitely killing whatever we're running into. So the Garian Raider intel says, according to the Garian Raiders, Ponda Baba tried to hire them to supply muscle so that he could break into some of the larger cybernetic labs in Rori and possibly even Naboo. The amount the amount he was offering was laughable to the Garian Raiders, so they flat out refused, but Ponda told them how to get in contact with him if they changed their mind. Alright, there's a lead. Yeah, we don't really have to go into the base any further. But at least the base wasn't a big base. Oh, we're near Jedi Shrine again. I've noticed that a lot of these legacy locations lead us pretty close to Jedi Shrines. So it kind of gives you a little like, oh, hey, have you tried meditating at this Jedi? You might get an upgrade for your robes if you haven't already, like, you know. So that's some thoughtful design. I'd say that's good of them. Alright, so we're back in normal. We have to go to a Gungan warrior statue because apparently this is how we get in contact with Ponda Baba. How did I rotate that whole thing around? I mean, I am pretty swole, but... Gundark, Hoodlum, and Flunky. We got ambushed. Do I have to click it again? It's already being used. Oh, it's a wave defense. Every time I have like wave defense or wave slaughter missions, I just think of space and I start having a panic attack. I'm like, no, no more. Please, no more. All right. Okay, what did that... Return to... Okay. There's a small park with the statue of a Gungan warrior. Rotate the statue to face north as a signal to meet with Ponda. Okay, Ponda didn't show, so we gotta let Lieutenant Tark know that. We just got jumped by a bunch of local ruffians. Back with Lieutenant Tark. So Ponda never showed, only some Gundark thugs. Apparently Ponda hired those Gundark thugs as protection and was spooked when you defeated them. So what now? We got a monk costume and a hollow shroud. Weird. Again, they should probably be offering weapons, but I guess maybe they anticipate people to be over-leveled. I don't know. We know that the Gundark gangs are working with Ponda Baba, so we'll turn our attention to them. They will tell us what we want to know one way or the other. Ominous, but I have been slaughtering all the things in my path, so not necessarily out of character. Alright, so here we're at Gundarks. Okay, we got lucky on the first one. According to the last Gundark thug, Ponda Baba is hiding out at a small camp on the outskirts of Narmal. So you're telling me I could have just been driving around the outside of the city and found him? I mean, it makes sense that he'd be near Narmal. There's not a lot of other places he could be that are population centers on this planet, considering that Restus was the only other one and that was destroyed in the war event. So, yeah. I guess, yeah, where else would he be, huh? Alright, so here we are. We're finally going to confront Ponda Baba. Level 56. Well, he ended up finding cybernetics because he's got a full cybernetic arm there. Sorry, dude. Good old 1-2. No, I will not be taken. I must escape. Okay. Well, back to Tark. I guess they weren't allowed to kill him off, which is kind of funny. Panababa, how much damage did I do to him? I did exactly 3 attacks, and I hit him for 3,200, 1,300, and 8,900 damage. I think the decapitation alone would have killed him. Panababa escaped, but word is that he has left the planet. I will be releasing his name in a holographic image to all security forces in the Naboo system. He will not be able to return to Rori or anywhere else in this part of the galaxy anytime soon. For now, I consider the case closed. I suppose that will have to be enough. Unfortunately, sometimes that's the way it is. You did good work, though. I'm proud to have worked with you. You wouldn't happen to have any more work, would you? I don't, but if you might try heading back to Corellia, where it is that some reporter is investigating the Meatlumps and is looking for someone to do her lifting. Is this the lead into the Meatlump theme park, or is this separate? Murky, how's that? Huh. Okay. Alright, I'm back. I've decided I read what we need to do. We just need to get access to the Meatlump bunker. So I'll go over this later, but the Meatlump theme park is basically a mixture of a little bit of combat and a lot of mini games. And the mini games are, not my favorite. So luckily we don't need to do those. We just need to get into the bunker to start the next leg of Legacy. So we're going to do that. But first of all, let's allocate this expertise point. And I think we're just going to get some action cost reduction. Because, yeah, I think that'll help the most right now. So, let's talk about getting access to the bunker. To get access to the bunker, we have to defeat Murky Howzat. And to defeat Murky Howzat, he's somewhere around Coronet. I think there's 3 locations where he could spawn. Right now, it looks like the Stooges are here, so let's just defeat them to make room for Murky. So you'll find groups of these, like, Meatlump Stooges standing around inside the city. If they're there, that means Murky won't spawn there. Oh, there he is. Okay, so after defeating him, you will loot a view screen with Corellia Times logo. Let's inspect it. Yes. When you pick up the view screen for the Corellia Times logo, it means to slowly animate and chime sounds. You fail to get it to respond in any other way despite your best efforts. The obvious course of action is to return to its owner. Maybe you should try finding the Corellia Times building in Coronet. Now, you don't need to do the Legacy quest to start the Meatlump theme park. You can find Murky Howzat around Coronet and defeat him whenever you want. Loot the item and start inspect it from there. So if you do want access to the Meatlump bunker, which is beneficial for a few things, yeah, you could just go defeat him. You don't need to do any of the Legacy. So here's Finn Shallow. He's an editor for the Corellia Times. He says, "Excuse me, hello, what can I do for you? I found this view screen with the Corellia Times logo on it." "Oh, let me take a look at that. Why, yes, this belongs to Vanny Core. Did you get it from one of those Meatlump thugs by any chance?" "Yes, I did. They were trying to destroy a power generator or something." "Yes, they do seem to like doing that kind of thing. They attacked Vanny. At least that's what she claims. You'll find her in the hospital here in Coronet. Why don't you bring the view screen over to her? I'm sure she'll be glad to have it back." "I'll do that." Let's go over to the hospital, which luckily is not very far. So here's Vanny. She says, "Hello. Look, I really don't have time to talk. I'm trying to recover from an attack. I have your view screen." "My, where? How did you get it from the Meatlump? From a Meatlump, didn't you? They attacked my speeder, overturned it while I was driving. I was thrown clear and knocked unconscious. When I awoke, I was here at the hospital. I don't know how I got here, and none of the doctors or medical staff have known any different. I was lucky to survive, even if I do not know how it happened, because I believe that attack was no coincidence." "What do you mean?" "I mean that there was no random attack. The Meatlumps somehow discovered I was investigating them and apparently decided to stop me. I'm not sure how they found out. I had thought I was being discreet, but not enough it seems. You see, I'm a reporter for the Corellia Times. My goal is to do a series of articles on the Meatlumps to try and shed some light on who they are and why they do the things they do. Sounds like a dangerous goal. Perhaps. More so than I originally thought. That's for certain. Now that they know what I'm doing, maybe doubly so. I don't know how I'll... Wait, a thought occurs to me. They know who I am, so I can't continue directly, and not to mention the fact that the doctors tell me it'll be some time before I can be released from the hospital. But the Meatlumps do not know you. You could be my agent in the field. What exactly do you mean by that? I will lead the investigation and write my articles, but you will help me in the field. You will become my eyes and ears as I recover. You will investigate the Meatlumps and report what you find back to me. Okay, what would you like me to do first? Rumor has it that the Meatlumps are led by 3 brothers. Virtually nothing is known about these brothers. So far, I've generally been able to confirm that there are 3 brothers running the Meatlump show. I'll start you off with something relatively small and easy. Find out the names of these 3 brothers. An idea how I should be doing that. As a matter of fact, I have a very good idea. Most Meatlumps use a data pad. You have to understand that your average Meatlump thug is not the brightest star in the galaxy. More like a gravity well from which nothing escapes and to which everything is destroyed. Where do the data pads come in? The Meatlump leaders distribute a data pad to each Meatlump, mostly so that the lesser members can use it to help remember their basic tasks, and in some cases, other information like their own name, where they live, and their favorite foods. I'm hoping that we'll find something that will point to the brothers. So, I should go get some of the Meatlump data pads. In a word, yes. You'll need to take down some of the Meatlumps to accomplish anything. It won't be easy. They usually destroy their data pads when they know they are going to be arrested or defeated. But I have total faith in you. I also have a little other choice. I do not think you'll find this too daunting a task, but please do be careful. Return to me when you have 9 Meatlump data pads. That should be enough for a good sampling. Very well, I'll come back when I have 9 of them. I eagerly await your triumphant return. Okay, so we're going to go to a familiar location. That location being one of the Meatlump camps outside of Coronet. Let's see if I can remember where it is without looking. I think I do. I think it's west of the Starport entrance. So let's head that way. Or south. Yeah. AFKing all of them. Cool. I'll just go over here. I whispered them all to see if they're running invite macros. Because that's the rule. They are. Alright, well, we got our 9 data pads, thankfully, so we'll just abandon this group. So let's go back to the hospital. Oh, thought I was going to crash there. Alright, back with Vanny. You have them all? Well done. Very well done. Now let's see what secrets these hold. She attempts to access the data pads. I didn't anticipate this. The information is encrypted. I'll need a password in order to get any of these... anything these hold. That will then be your next task. What is the task exactly? To find the password for these data pads. More than likely, Lieutenant among the Meatlumps will know the password for these. I can't imagine they would trust your average Meatlump to remember it. Go to one of the Meatlump camps outside of town. Use the radio in the camp to send a distress signal. According to my sources, a Meatlump lieutenant will be dispatched to answer the signal. And then what? And then convince him to tell you the password, of course. If you can trick him into telling you without resorting to violence, then do so. But don't expect that to be easy. I'll give you a list of coded responses to try, but I have no idea if they will work. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. We've never been able to crack their code, but it's worth trying. If it fails, you'll probably have to fight them, so be prepared. Okay, I understand. I will be back with the password. Excellent, and do be careful. Those Meatlump lieutenants can be pretty tough. The Meatlump Themepark a few days ago, AF cameras were in almost every bunker. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. The Meatlump Themepark is a classic. Let me go AFK at that spot. Theme park to hit up. That was at 90. Not sure if it's different bunkers for under 90. No, so it's the same bunkers, I believe. It's just that, like, when there's a quest NPC spawns, so like this lieutenant, I think it scales to your level. Because there's some areas where you'll go and have to, like, click on stuff and Meatlump camps, and it'll spawn an NPC, and I think that NPC scales to you. Like, I think there's a thing you have to click deep in one of the Meatlump bunkers and it spawns like an elite. Here's the Meatlump Lieutenant. Why did you send a distress signal? I need to know the password. Password? Why? What is your code? Sunlight shining in the shadows, life invading the grave, fish walking the land, clouds floating in the grass, night falling at midday, music listening in silence. Fish walking the land. Very well. Password is Meatlump. Farewell. I just guessed. I was like, what's the silliest one out of this list? And I was right. I don't have a problem with people like AFKing bots, because that's just part of the... That's just kind of like how people accept how the game meta is. But... it does get a little... annoying. Like, when it's a spot where it has, like, specific loot you can't get elsewhere, sure. But, like, when it's just, like, a random spot that, like, I just did, like, basically, if you see someone forming a weird spot and it doesn't have a unique loot table, they're just there because they don't want to split credits with people. Here we're back with Vanny. Oh, yes, you did it. And the password is Meatlump. I can't believe this. I absolutely do not believe this. Some tech team we've got at Corellia time. Top notch. Second to none. I can't believe I didn't think to try that myself. Anyway, now we have the password, so let's see what it reveals. Did the data pads reveal anything? I think I have indeed found something. Exactly what we sought, and perhaps even more. One Communications makes mention of the king of the Meatlumps. That is exactly the kind of scoop I was hoping for. This will do nicely for the first article. Thank you very much. You shall receive an advanced copy of my article, and if you're interested, I'll let you know when I'm ready to pursue my next article, but that will have to wait. So what were their names? Hush, I'm almost done. Yes, that should do it. Here's your copy. Are you ready for your next assignment? I am. Excellent. We need to find out more about this Meatlump King. The first step, I think, is to find him. The Meatlumps have a primary hideout somewhere. That is where we'll find the Meatlump King. I'm certain of it. I'm on it. Our best bet is to find out something about the Meatlump hideout is to convince a Meatlump lieutenant to tell us about it. I've been tracking recent crimes of vandalism against machinery and technology. You'll investigate them and hopefully find a link to the Meatlumps. Where do I start? A manufacturing company was recently vandalized. They make crates, and some of their machinery and crates were destroyed. Go speak with the owner, Talon Jobin. Accept. Meatlump hideout. Part 1. So the item that you get is a copy of her article. I believe you get 2 of these by the end. Which, yeah, it's an article. Who are the Meatlumps? Part 1. I'll read these later. I'll read them when we have all the articles. Which, again, I think there's just 2. Alright, so here we are with Talon Jobin. Nice hair, bruh. Someone has attacked my company and destroyed the precious crates. Calm down and tell me what happened. I just said, someone has attacked the company and destroyed my precious crates. That's what's happened. Do you know who did this? No, but it was obviously someone who hates crates. Though, it could also have been someone who might have thought the crates contained something worth finding, like a health pack, or maybe some credits. I guess that just means... Wouldn't it be a back to kit? Whatever. I guess that means just about anyone could have done this. Can you think of anything else? Oh, they also destroyed some of my crate-making machinery, which makes no sense because the crates won't have anything inside of them until they're finished being made. Maybe we should go look. I mean, do I just click this data pad? On the screen of the datapad is a message, quote, bombs have been placed near hotels in major cities throughout the galaxy. These bombs are in crates manufactured by this very company. There will be more unless the manufacturing of crates throughout the galaxy is stopped. Heed well this warning. Right, we have to go find all these crates with bombs in them. Excuse me while I pull up a list of waypoints, because Lord knows I am not just blindly doing this. I remember where some of them are. Alright, so I got a list of waypoints from the wiki walkthrough, and I'm just gonna go around and click all the boxes. I wish it just kind of like gave you. I wish the game just gave you a list of waypoints of like the general vicinity. Maybe not the exact box, but that it gives you some direction because it says playing around hotels. Yeah, I mean, that's some guide, but there's a lot of hotels, and sometimes cities have more than one. So just saying go check all the hotels in the galaxy is kind of a pain in the ass. Okay, let's go to Tyrena next. We're actually going to go to the shuttle port that's on the west side of town because that's where I believe the hotel is. So we're in Tyrena. Here's the Tyrena Hotel bomb on the west end of town. We will head to... I'll go to Rori. There's only one there. Let's go to Rori. See, like, this is a great example. So, hotels around the galaxy. There are 2 hotels in normal. There's this one, and there's this one. But the bomb is over by that one, in the center of town, not the one closest to the starport. That's what I mean. It's like, just put a waypoint to the hotel. Also, these bombs must be baller, because you're placing some of these really far away from the actual structure. Alright, let's go to Naboo, since we're on its moon. Which I believe one's at Dija? No, they're Corinne and Fate, never mind. I don't know why I'm thinking we have to go back to Dija Peak. Alright, so here we're at the Corinne Hotel, which... Here's this... If you noticed this crate when talking to Captain Typho earlier, good on you. If you remembered that it was here, even better. Okay, so I shuttled to the west side of Theed, and we are next to the hotel here. And here's the crate. Next, let's go to... Let's go to Dierek? Yeah, let's go to Dierek on Talus. Like it. I love it that when rebels are in control of Theed, just because all of like the fixed high-level Imperial NPCs are still here, so like you almost never see like rebel forces hanging around, because they're all just getting destroyed by the Imperials. Like how are all like the level like 30 rebel troopers supposed to contend with the level 91 Dark Troopers? Level 91 Elite Dark Troopers just get annihilated. Hilariously, this is over by the Life Day celebration. Like, I actually refreshed Life Day buffs while I was here. That was not my intention. It just happened that way. So here we are in Dierek Hotel during Life Day still. I don't know why they spawned 2 of these. I can't double dip on this, can I? Or maybe I'm supposed to. I don't think 2 boxes are supposed to be here because I have 3 more waypoints. But I only need to click 2 more things. I won't look a gift horse in the mouth because now I don't have to go to Lock. Even though Lock's probably the easiest one to go to. Alright, so we are in Mos Espa, as there might be another double box situation here, which was save me a trip. You remember it was one of the sandy ones? I don't blame you. I didn't even know I didn't even read the wiki on this. I just went, oh, there's the waypoints, copy paste. The double boxes might be intentional, and they're just like, yeah, the Meatlumps particularly hate the Dierek Hotel and Espa Hotel, but I have no idea. Maybe Watto sold them some bad stuff, but you were right. It was the Espa Hotel. So that saves a bit of time. Alright, so after clicking the last one, we get next to the last bomb, you found the tarnished badge saying, Ryan Kiner has explored the depths of the Argalat Swamp. Alright, so we're here to defeat... Wait. That one's down there? Okay. Maybe you come to the swamp if you're level 90, and this is the if you're not a level 90 NPC. Maybe that's how the wiki's intended to be read. All right, so here we are at Ryan Kiner's hut. Hi. What do you want? What are your feelings about crates? Crates, I hate them. Worst thing that ever happened to the universe. And did you know that there are people mass producing them? I cannot believe it. When I found out, I knew I had to take action. Those crates must be stopped. So you made the bombs? Yes, that's right. I used some crates and made them into bombs. People must learn to fear crates and thus banish them from existence. Wait a second. You're an adventurer. You must think that you can stop me, but it's too late. You'll never find my bombs in time. Actually, I already found and disarmed them. No. He's gone. Just like that. All right, back to Coronet. Yeah, I guess you actually would have to go into the swamp to do the level 91, because I do remember having to go in a swamp and talk to somebody, but since we're not level 90, it's giving us the lower level one, which happened to be level 63, which that was the other than the mission terminals, that was the strongest NPC we fought today, but the mission terminals scaled my levels, so that's cheating a little bit. Okay, we're back here at the hospital with Vanny. She says, that was interesting, though a dead end. Oh well, moving on. Next is the droid engineer who claims his droids have been sabotaged. Sabotage droids, I'll look into it. Good, hopefully this time the Meatlumps were involved. Outside Tyrena. So I want to point out, the XP return, maybe it's because we're so overleveled. I don't know, it feels really bad for this quest series so far compared to what we were just doing on Rori. But yeah, maybe it's just because the quests are taking more time now because I'm having to do more driving, more point A to B. So, all right, we're here at the iconic quest location with Sorajas Garaman. You here to look at my droids? They've been sabotaged. I guarantee it. What seems to be the problem? See for yourself. They won't grow. They won't grow? That's right. I've tried watering them more often, blocking sunlight, and even talking nicely to them, but nothing has worked. Someone must be sabotaging them. Okay, okay, I'll take a look. Thank you very kindly. So this man is trying to grow droids via parts. Unfortunately, I can't click on all of them. So this is the part where if you don't have object item names on, I highly recommend it. Otherwise, you're going to be trying to click every single droid part here. I missed one. There it is. Did you find anything? Nothing, and it doesn't look like sabotage. No? Well then, I'm stumped. What could be the problem? Have you had the soil tested? Maybe they aren't planted deep enough. What kind of fertilizer are you using? I don't think you can plant droid parts and have them grow into droids. Well, that's crazy. How else would you get a droid? They don't have reproducing parts like people. Only thing left is that they grow in the ground like a plant. I'm sure the HoloNet has some interesting things to teach you, sir. Either way, back to Vanny. Alright, we are back with Vanny after trying to help a man with the droid parts. A droid farm? Capital F. Capital D, capital F. He actually planted the droid parts in the ground and expected droids to grow from them. Amazing. I may have to do a story on that guy. I can't believe I called him a droid engineer. So any new leads on possible Meatlump activities? What? Oh, right. Back to business. And yes, actually, I have a good lead this time. A moderately well-known speeder bike racer named Soul Prime, with an N, claims that some Meatlumps destroyed his speeder bikes. He specifically names the Meatlumps as the ones who did it. Sounds like a solid lead. It does. Soul Prime's place is on Talus, which is interesting. If the Meatlumps are truly responsible for the destruction of those bikes, that means they are branching out to other planets. I wonder how many Meatlumps have died when they destroyed the transport on which they were traveling. Yes, that's always my question. I'm like, if the Meatlumps hate technology, how are they getting off world? I feel like they're compromising a lot. But here we are at Soul Prime's place. Oh yeah, I should remember this place. I see it every time I come out to do offense. Or the invasion. Not that I come to the Deeric invasion that often. Here's Soul. This model looks familiar. They smashed my bikes, some Meatlumps. I know of them on Corellia, but had never ran into them here in this house before. How do you know it was Meatlumps? I found one of their jackets. They left it behind, probably forgotten in the lustful rampage of destruction. There was also a map to their camp. I will upload the coordinates for you, which is outside Nashville. So let's just leave the town, ITV to Nashville, and then drive out there, I suppose. All right, so we're here at the Meatlump camp, and I need to attack them, apparently. What is this 72 stim giving us? That's pretty good. Ah, these guys are level 64. It's supposed to be blue? I'm 12 levels above these guys. You see, like, why I want to invest more expertise in action cost reduction stuff. That's really the only limiter here. Even with inspiration, it's still a slow go. Alright, so the Meatlumps talk. The Meatlumps were lead by a lieutenant. You mean led, you need to drop an A there. Named Strilath Farles. You learn that he hangs out in Doaba Grafel. You learn that when his crew needs him, they signal him with one of the radios they have hidden throughout the city. So I wanted to see what the hell this was about. It's level 40 Flail Cutthroat Camp. What the hell is this about? What is this even for? Corsac and Flail. This isn't a POI. Oh, it is a POI. It's the Corsac versus Flail battle. Okay. Okay, we gotta go confront Strill. Alright, so here's the radio. It's in a rail signal switched on and then shuts back down. Again, we just one-two'd him. Okay, you win. I've had enough. Man, you really need to relax a bit. Life is too short, man. I need some information from you. Information? What kind of information? I want to know where the main Meatlump hideout is. Oh, really? Ha, that's, Wait a second. Tell you what. If you help me with a little problem, I'll tell you what you want to know. Okay, what's the problem? Some local ragtags keep messing with me and my work. That's partly why I agreed to a relocation to another planet. But I'd still like to stick to those ragtags. Take me out for me and we got a deal. Okay, where are the local ragtags? All the way out of the ragtag base. Okay, that's a long drive. You know what, this is a good time to... Let's read Vanny Core's story while I'm driving 3,400 meters. Who are the Meatlumps? The Story of the Meatlumps, Part 1 by Vanny Core, with the special thanks to Vum Valaimo. Wow, that's me. The Meatlumps are known to most anyone who lives, works, or visits Corellia. They are regarded by many as a gang of thugs, and their reputation is one of violence and destruction. They have attacked and injured countless innocent people and have been burned or destroyed endless amounts of property, both public and private. But some of their actions do not quite fit with the expected behavior of other criminals. During my investigation thus far, one such turn has come to light. The Meatlumps rarely take another being's life. Though their victims number in the thousands, it is very rare that they ever go so far to kill someone. In fact, my investigation is yet to uncover any evidence of a single death directly caused by the actions of a Meatlump. Rather, Meatlumps seem to view us as an obstacle that, once out of the way, can be forgotten. Their apparent target in almost every case I've investigated has been a device of some sort, or something electronic, a communication system, a droid, a power station, a technical console, or even a vehicle. Yes, readers, my own speeder was attacked by a group of Meatlumps. They overturned it, and I was thrown clear. From that point on, they ignored me and concentrated on my speeder. Shortly thereafter, 2 Corsac troopers happened by, and the Meatlumps scattered. My speeder was wrecked. Other than the injuries I sustained when my speeder overturned, I was untouched. The goal desired by the Meatlumps seems to always be destruction of the devices or electronics that they attack, not theft. They do not appear to benefit in any readily apparent manner. They destroy their target and then leave it. That's it. Do not mistake me, readers. The Meatlumps are dangerous. They are a menace. It is my desire to find out what makes them tick, to learn why they do what they do. But it is not... Sorry, there's so many Corsac here, I got distracted. But it is not my intention to absolve them of their actions. They must answer for their crimes, but I leave that to the proper authorities. As a reporter, my job is to inform. Right now, I have more questions than I have answers. What drives their attacks? Why do they destroy the things they target? And who leads them? Until recently, I had heard only rumors of 3 brothers who led the Meatlumps. With the help of Volimo, I was able to learn more about those who lead the Meatlumps. Their names are Hirakin Dryhakin and Lewis Bender. Wow, one name very different than the other. They are indeed brothers. Together, they founded the Meatlumps and shaped their gang to what it is today. As yet, I know a little more about these brothers who lead the Meatlumps. Their names are clues to their identities, but tell us very little about what goaded them into forming the Meatlumps. I intended to find out more in addition. In addition, there is evidence that hints at the existence of someone else in the background of all this, someone who even the Bender brothers seem to defer. Is this the king of the Meatlumps, or is this person something else entirely? This is Vanny Core, signing off. Wow. That killed just enough time for us to get to the Ragtag bunker. Alright, I gotta defeat Gramo Mura's goons and defeat Gramo Mura. Okay, yeah, these guys count. Cool, no one's AFKing this. Alright, here's Grandma Mura, Ragtag gang leader. There he goes. Oh yeah, I need one more goon. Now we gotta destroy his stash. Grandma tried to bribe you by giving up the stash. It sounds good. It's hidden nearby. Go destroy it. Okay. He did? He didn't say anything. He didn't even stop. I just killed him. It says it's hidden nearby. How nearby are we talking? Like, in this base nearby or in the vicinity? Wiki for waypoint if it's not in the bunker. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was just going to, like, skim the bunker, and if I don't see anything clickable, then we check the wiki. It's outside the bunker? Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't that far. It was far enough to where I was like... Again, it's the draw distance issue. Like, I probably would have looped around here 2 or 3 times before I found it. It's a really bad spot for a stash, by the way. Okay, we gotta go back and use that radio again. It's kind of a whack setup, but whatever. Okay, back with Doaba. Hopefully I don't have to stab him again. Wow, you really did it. I guess that open hostility of yours came in handy. Pretty nice. Okay, I did my part. Now tell me where the hideout is. Oh yeah, that. Well, the thing is, I don't actually remember where the hideout is. I thought it was here in Doaba Grafel, so I came here again to look for it again, but still couldn't find it. It's a really well-hidden hideout, unless it's someplace else. Though it's probably still well-hidden. You really don't know where it is? I really don't. And now I'm gone. You're still here. So I am. Would you mind if I tried that again? I think you should stay and be punished for misleading me. Too bad. So sad. Now I'm out of here. And there he goes. Back to Vanny Corn Coronet. I'm beginning to wonder if the Meatlump King has avoided being found simply due to the buffoonery of his followers. I found a report of another Meatlump smashing a generator here in Coronet, but I'm starting to wonder if it's even worth pursuing. I think it is. Well, then I'm revitalized. Go find the Meatlump. That Meatlump. He's smashing a generator somewhere in the northeast of Coronet. Okay. So that rewarded us with a Meatlump lump. Meatlump lumps are the factional currency for the Meatlumps that can be used in the Meatlump Themepark. They can be used at the Corellia times for items, and they can also be used inside the Meatlump bunker for other rewards. All right, so here we are with Alan. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just smashing this machine thing. Why are you doing that? I don't know. Why not? Kaya likes it when I smash things. She's my lieutenant. Kaya is, but I don't know why I do it anymore. I think I'd like to stop. Well, then stop. It's not that easy. If you want to retire from being a Meatlump, you have to bring in at least one new person to take your place. I don't know anyone. What if I took your place? Really, that would be nice, I think. Then I could just sleep all day and watch holovids. Oh, but you need to speak with my lieutenant. Her name is Kaya. She's usually somewhere around Coronet. Okay. Who are you? Who are you, and why should I speak with you? I like to replace Alan as a meat lump so he can retire. Now and then we have a hope that if we lived and were good, the Force would permit us to be meat lumps. And you think you are ready then? I am. All right then, let's see what you can do. Meet up with a couple of rogue Corsac officers I've been looking to work with. Help them hijack and destroy a shuttle. If you do well, and they can stand working with you, then maybe, just maybe, you won't be a complete waste of my time. I can handle that. Well, I hope so. Get it on. Get on it. I don't like it like that, Kaya. All right, we gotta go over there. Hey, guys. Bye, guys. All right, so we're back with Kaya. She says, "You're back? What's going on? I haven't heard anything from them rogue Corsacs. Our meet was raided by some Corsac agents. What happened then? The two rogue Corsac officers were killed. I managed to escape." Side-eye. You managed to escape? I'm impressed, especially when those other two didn't. They were the best I'd known. You must be better. Maybe there's something else you can do for me. What's that? There's a rival Meatlump lieutenant that I've been meaning to take down. Oh, wow, some interplay politics. Word is that he's planning something big. I want those plans for myself. I am, after all, the far greater Meatlump. Find out what he's planning and then beat him to it. All right, so we gotta go steal Stefak's plans, and he's outside Corellia, which is gonna be a bit of a drive, it looks like. But we are level 78, which means I can spend another expertise point. Let's see, 10, 10, 5, 10. Yeah, 10 more expertise off all AoE is probably better than 5 off sure shot, huh? Cool. We also earn, for reaching level 78, a high gain communications antenna, which is just one of it's the buff item you get from your profession late on. They're not great. We also got a better sure shot. Cool. Alright, so here we are at Stefak's location, which looks like we just need to click this well-worn data notebook. We gotta go to Rori. It's like those rogue NPCs are both bunkers in this part of the quest chain of two different copies in completely different places. Yeah. It makes sense that the AFKers would be in the level 90 ones. More credits and the loot table's probably better. So, like, for example, if we were level 90, this portion of the quest would be taking us to Dathomir, but since we're not level 90, it's taking us to Rori, which looks like we gotta go to Boiling Spring. We're in a shuttle to Boiling Springs, and it's a little south of there. Otherwise, the rebel military outpost would be the closest. Luckily, this player stays in that area, so we don't have to go that far. Yeah, it's interesting how they structure this quest to scale up to 90. It's not something that you commonly see with a lot of content in Star Wars Galaxies. It's usually just whatever the level is designed for it. But I guess this content was implemented later in the game's life, and they wanted people who are level 90 to feel more engaged with the content. Because while maybe they won't be continuing the legacy quest necessarily, they might want to engage with the Meatlump Themepark itself. So I could see why they invested the effort in making level 90 and sub-level 90 versions of the quest. It's interesting, though, because they didn't really do that with anything else that they implemented. Like, Nim's theme park isn't like that. And I think Nim's theme park, from the stance of, like, an expected MMO questing experience is much more standard than Meatlump theme park, where you, like, go to dungeon, do a bunch of stuff in the dungeon, get a bunch of cool, unique rewards. Whereas Meatlump theme park is like, yeah, there's some unique decorative rewards, but, it's a lot of mini games that some players probably don't really care to mess around with. Yeah, you know what? That's a really good point, Zalvinar. This basically is an early example of quest scaling in MMOs before it became more standard in games like Star Wars: The Old Republic, where level scaling is based on instance or planet you're in. So yeah, that is a good point. I don't think the system would allow for players of similar levels to quest together like more modern MMOs do. But this is kind of like that early idea of it, trying to make new content added accessible, but also compelling for a variety of level ranges. Never really thought about it like that. It's like they realized this problem a long time ago, but I'd agree with you in that they probably didn't. The system probably wasn't conducive to doing a really complicated scaling system. So, all right, where's Stefan Dax? These guys actually might aggro to me because they're close enough in level range. We'll see. Okay, well that's that. Let's go back to Kaya, and maybe she'll let us into the bunker finally. It's kind of nice doing this quest at a lower level, just because it's not something I've ever done. Anytime I've ever done the Meatlump Themepark, I've already been level 90. What's up, Armored? Yeah, I didn't realize that if you want to continue the Legacy Quest series, you actually have to get in the Meatlump bunker. I was trying to read the wiki and be like, can I skip this? No, you have to at least get into the bunker. Granted, I don't have to do all of the repeatable Meatlump quests of disarming bombs and stuff. Yeah, I was doing the first leg of the Rori Legacy earlier in the stream, and we were actually getting a lot of XP quite quickly, but that was partially due there wasn't too much running around, and the quests were brief in between rewards. The leveling has definitely slowed getting into the Meatlump Themepark, which is interesting because it's like the complete opposite of NIMS. Like once you get into NIMS, you're just spanking levels out because you get the main quest XP, the side quest XPs, and then you get the collection XPs, which basically all the collections overlap with the side quests for the most part. So you're almost like, it feels like you're double dipping on quests. NIMS just, like, we're so over leveled for NIMS, which is intended to start around 60. I am half expecting to almost get to 90 just doing NIMS at this point. Which, it will be interesting trying to do Kashyyyk so over leveled because I tend to do all the main areas of Kashyyyk, and Kashyyyk ranges from like level 20 to level 90, so it's gonna be really weird getting that spectrum. All right, so here's Kaya. It's, yeah, my favorite new Meatlump. Unless you have let me down, you haven't let me down, have you? No, but your rival, he didn't make it. Didn't make it. Ha, that's even better than I hoped. I think, though, now I'll need a new rival, and that one was pretty easy to beat. But still, I can't fault you for that. You did your part. So my Meatlump, yeah, you are. You always have been, if you ask me. I'll make sure you can enter our hideout. It's here in Cornet in some abandoned maintenance tunnels. If you do good, you might even meet our king, or if we have one, that is. I shouldn't give away all our secrets to some new meaty. Meaty seems like the natural nickname, but man, I don't want to be called a meaty. It has some implications, I feel. Back with Vanny Core. Well done. Now we not only know where their hideout is, right here in Cornet, no less, but you have free access to it as a Meatlump initiate. What do I do now? Explore the Meatlump hideout, find the Meatlump king if he exists. Oh, and I should introduce you to an associate of mine from Corellia Times. He is going to aid me with the story when I'm recovering. Be sure to speak with him for guidance. So let's go talk with our Times contact, which is Halden West. I've been expecting you. Thanks to you, the recent Corellia Times article has brought us a flood of new information and with it new challenges. Are you interested in some additional work? That depends what it entails. Well, it's quite important, actually. We have reports that small teams of Meatlumps have taken their cause to other planets of the galaxy. Obviously, this is a much bigger story than expected. And what would you like me to do? We need someone to spoil their plans. We can't have a gang of Corellia, from Corellia spraying other planets of the galaxy and giving the planet a bad name. I mean, because Han Solo and Dengar have already done that so well. You have to be kidding me, right? Calling the authorities. Okay, okay. What I mean is, this is the Corellia time story, and we deserve credit. Our news isn't widely distributed off-planet. If a larger syndicate news service got wind of this, the Times would miss its chance. If we could delay the expansion long enough for our more investigative reporting, as well as a few additional published articles, everyone will be in a better position. Everyone except me. I like to pay worth your while. Now you're talking about language. Let me put what information I have on your datapad. Unfortunately, I don't have any waypoints, but reports place the Meatlump camps just outside towns and cities throughout the galaxy. Shouldn't be too hard to find a new guy walking around. And Meatlump covers. Shouldn't be too hard. Once there, destroy suppliers, loot their containers, and gather any intel you can. I am putting the tools that you need in your inventory. Each tool has a specific purpose. If you run out of tools, you can come back and receive more. What is the bomb diffuser for? Oh, that is in case you find any Meatlump bombs in or around one of their targets. That device will help you defuse it. Don't worry, it does all the work for you. Well, most of the work anyways. Defuse bombs? Well, alright then. Okay, so this is the part of the Meatlump theme park that is, you do it over and over again and you unlock collection progress towards it. I will go to one camp and I will demonstrate an example of this. But before you ever think about doing this ever, okay, while he does give you the tools to do it, the puzzles, some of them are nigh cryptic unless you go to this vendor and you get these consumable items, which could be purchased for Meatlump lumps, which luckily from the quests we've done so far, we have 29. They're worth it. Trust me, they're worth it. We want to buy the safe auto dialer, the lock breaker, the decryption tool set, the abatement slice, the yeast bolster, and the wire cutters. We want one of each. Okay? They're worth it. Trust me. You don't want to try this without the buffs. You're welcome to. Some of them aren't too bad. Like the bomb diffuser's not bad, but some of them, holy heck, they are a pain. I'm glad I'm giving Corellia a bad planet, very bad planet. A bad name is more important than destroying Colonel. Yeah, right. I mean, he confessed to being that. So what am I hoping for in 2024 with Legends anyways? To be honest, to see new content discussed for years to be implemented. Yeah. I know, again, I'm going to preface this. I know it's a volunteer project. You guys got real life stuff. And sometimes you got to put your hobbies on ice for a little bit. Maybe come back to them later. But I would actually like to see new content get added. I feel like it's been a little bit since we've had anything particularly significant. Like farming and ranching, awesome addition. But like other than the trickling of like, you know, the new house was cool, some of the new Empire Day items was cool. Like seeing new stuff to do would be nice. Like, you know, talking about Felucia forever, that'd be cool. The Jedi theme park stuff, which I've heard was getting Q8 or something based on the Legend stuff I read, that'd be cool to see. So seeing that actually come about this year would be nice. I love all the quality of life improvements and everything that happen, and all the minor additions, but it is nice to get like what feels like an expansion, quote unquote, every once in a while. It doesn't have to be Bespin scale, but like, you know, some new stuff to like do your teeth and do a little bit. Okay, I came to Locke because I remember where the Nims camp is. I think this is it right here. Yeah, this is it. Who's not on the table for 2024? Yeah, I'm not surprised. I would expect the Jedi theme park to be the next one. That sounds like what's been getting crunched on. Or at least, you know, well, part 2 of it. So I'm going to take these guards out just in case. I probably won't have to worry about them, but... Okay, so... Now we have to do the mini... Oh. Forgot this guy was going to spawn. That guy will always be whatever your level is. So if you're 90, come here, be 90. If you're 78, like me, be 78. If you're 65, you'd be 65. All right, so if we come in the temps, we'll see that we have all these items to do. Let's start with the very old safe. Before doing that, let's use our safe auto dialer. It gives us a buff for 2 minutes, at which it gives us more attempts and decreases the amount, like the requirement. So we're gonna slice the safe. Your device has attempted to resolve the safe password, but may have failed in giving you scrambled letters. To open the container, you must either solve the password by unscrambling the letters or by creating 3 to 4 letter words from the scrambled letters for the points. So this one's DROWSSPA. It's usually something Star Wars related. I'll try and guess this one. These are like basically all these answers are on the wiki, by the way. So if you ever don't want to sit here and actually like figure out the puzzles, these are all on the wiki. Let me stare at it for a second. I keep seeing the word drow and I'm like, D&D. Isn't it just password? I got it. Yay. So then for the lot, we get 2 meat lumps and we get a clean towel. Wonderful. It's a item to use a junk dealer. So next we're going to do the Meatlump food supplies, which for that we want to use the yeast bolster. So for this one, we have to have the colors on the right match the colors on the left. Excuse me. And what the yeast bolster did was that it enhanced cultural integrity. So I think it just gives us more attempts. Let's just take these to 50 and then see how dark these all get, because I forget exactly. Okay, so the first one needs to be lighter. This one needs to be darker. This one needs to be a bit darker. I feel like this minigame's probably the worst, because like depending on your color balance, and if you're color blind, man, good luck. I mean, luckily it's just shades. But if you have a hard time depicting shade color, I think this has to be darker, and this one has to be lighter. All right, I got it. Cool. Yay! And these unlock collections every time you complete one. I think it might be under achievements. Yeah, here's the meat lump stuff. And so when you complete all of these, you'll get XP and you'll get a stipend of meat lumps. And then if you want like the meat lump badges and titles, you need to do this. So here's the lock container. Before doing the lock container, I believe it's the lock breaker. Yeah, we'll use the lock breaker. Oh, I hate it. This one's stupid. I mean, they're all stupid. Your lock breaker has solved all but the number combinations found below. You will need to manually guess the numbers to open the lock. So what the lock breaker does is it decreases the amount of combinations. So the way this works is you need to find a number that's 4 digits. So if I do like 1,000 and enter it, it'll say 1,000 is too low for the first one. So usually what you do is you just do like 5,000. Too high, 2,500. Too low, 3,750. Too low, 425 or 425. Too high, 4,100. Too high, 3,900. Too low, 4,000. Too low, 4,050. Too low, 4,150. Too high, 4,125. Too high, 4,115. Too high, 4,110. Too high, 40. Let's do 4,090. Like, what the hell? Too high, 4,050. Too low, 4,070. Too low, 4,080. And you just brute force it. It's just really obnoxious and slow. I hate this. This is terrible. This is why I'm like, I'm not doing this whole collection on stream. It's like 5,000 is too high. So 2,500. Too high. 750. Too low. 1,500. Too low. 1,900. Too low. 2,250. Too low. Let me finish this and then I'll talk to you, chat. I swear. Just let me brute force this really fast so we're not here all day. 2,375. Am I stupid? 2390? 2400? 2395? 2398? 2397? 2396? Last one. At least this is just a 3-digit. 500. Too low for 750. Too low 900. Too high 800. Too low 850. Too high 825. Imagine if you can use the numpad for this. 840 is too high. 830. Too high. 827. 8. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. 826. And then we get a piece of junk. Hey, I hate the container one. Also, I'm getting jumped by this guy now. More colorblind friendly than Diablo 4, even with colorblind mode enabled. A colorblind person. Yeah, I believe it. I haven't played Diablo 4, but some games really lack good colorblind support. Number Guesser was the only one you got really tired of doing for the first time recently. Yeah, the Number Guesser's really tired. So here we are at the secret coded Meatlump target map. This one we gotta use the decryption tool set. Right? Or did I use the wrong one? Yeah, map. So this one, it makes the cipher easier. This one is the one that without the tool assisted buff, I can't do it. It's insane. So, like, for example, you have managed to pick out one of the parts of the text that makes sense. All you have to do is now decipher the rest. Take your team and scout out the following target well in advance. No mess ups. The target's a Bazaar terminal. The location is whatever. The target planet is blah. It's all the red text. So we have to figure out the target planet. We know it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. And we know that 4 is A, and then US. This has to be Talus. Really easy. Without the decipher kit, that shit's insane. Like, it's just guessing. Like, there's no rhyme or reason. And lastly, you have the weapons cache, which I think this is the wire cutter. No, we have a bomb that we haven't defused yet, which is somewhere else. This is the abatement slice? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So this one makes it so that we can have more attempts on this. Calibrate the power cell abatement. So we have to have the top mimic the bottom pattern, and this is like one of the ones where, like, if you click it, it'll flip like the opposite one. So if you click top left, you see it flip bottom right. Now if I click top right, it flipped bottom, so now they're all dark. So I need to unhighlight these. So if I click like this one, then it did the opposite too. So it's that kind of thing. I did this backwards. This one's not hard once you get in the groove. I find it's difficult when your brain is real stupid. Dumb. I'm so stupid. Sometimes I just brute force these. There's a trick to this. God, I don't know it. Fuck it. We failed it. That's fine. I don't give a shit. When you fail something, by the way, you get a cooldown, so you can't immediately, maybe you can. Can you immediately redo it? Yeah, you can't redo it, and it also gives you -50 to some stats for some freaking reason. Can you purge it? Okay, hilariously, you can purge it, though. I didn't know that one. I did this on my commando. All right, so you get the idea that I'm not doing that again. I don't like these. Cyber one was your favorite, even without the buffs. Target audience is definitely puzzle nerds, for better or worse. Yeah, which is why I'm kind of weirded out that they spent so much time in the level scaling in this one and not NIMS. Because NIMS is like a much more traditional and focused experience in terms of an MMO, where it focuses most on questing, exploration, combat, and whatever. This one's just weird. It just ends up leaning into puzzles for some reason. I'm gonna go defuse a bomb to show you all what the bomb puzzle is. I don't remember where it is at NIMS. I do remember where it is, though, on Dathomir, so we're going to go to the labor outpost on Dathomir and do that really quick. And then we will actually go into the Meatlump bunker, I promise. I just wanted to show what you can expect if you dip into the Meatlump theme park with any sort of conviction. I got okay at the puzzles like a year or so ago when I did this on my commando. Actually, it was probably more than a year ago, like 2 years ago. Haven't touched them since. Or Science Outpost, excuse me. Literally just have not bothered. I got a bunch of meat lumps for some stuff, because I just want lumps. Okay, so here we are at the Dathomir Science Outpost, and here you can see this is a meat lump explosive device. Before interfacing with it, though, the wire cutters will also help here, which gives you more time and tracking. So this one's timed, and it's basically matching wire colors. So I'm not going to sit and read it, but I'll try and say what you're doing. So basically, you have to just click these combos really fast. So the detonator is black and white. The tamper system is white. So you just click the colors in order. So red and black, I click red and black. And then it's black. And the wire cutter also removes the ones you pick, so it's easier to pick out the ones you have. You see, the timer's pretty generous with the wire cutters. This is probably the one that if you're gonna skip buying stuff for, it's probably the one I would do. So like if you fail it like this, the bomb deletes and then it just straight up incapacitates you, and then you can't do it again. So I wanted to show the example of like how it happens if you fail that. What does it say in the combat log? Nothing. It just sets your health to 0 and incapacitates you. So no, you can't defend against the bomb exploding. So I guess there are stakes involved. If you mess up, you might blow up. But let's go into the Meatlump bunker, now that I've showed you what all the mini games are like for that. Okay, so we're back in Coronet, and we have to go to the Meatlump bunker. So we do have a waypoint to it, but if you were observant during the Corellia Legacy, we had to come over to defeat some armor thieves who stole some Imperial armor that was at City Hall that we had to recover. This nondescript bunker that you've seen a billion times, this is the Meatlump hideout. All right, so all this does is lead us here, and what we do is we go down here. Go all the way down. And first thing you'll notice that over here there's a Meatlump map. So if you go here and click on this, I believe we could start this collection, or starts a quest. Oh, this is the one that tells you where bombs are. Okay, so if you're not using the wiki, you can find maps around the bunker and they will tell you where the bombs are and give you quests to them. I'm not going to click them all. Similarly, if you talk to this person, she'll ask you to go cheer up some meat lumps, and basically there's a good walkthrough on the wiki about this where you can set up a macro. I actually have one where you'd basically go walk around and find angry meat, like upset meat lumps, and then the macro just runs through a set of specific emotes, and then one of those emotes will cheer them up. It's a daily that's repeatable for meat lumps. This guy also has a repeatable daily where he'll have you go bug the meat lumps, and what you do is you put like microphone bugs and all the like bugs you find around the base and like warmths and whatever. We're not going to do that either right now. What we're going to do is we're going to go find the king, and I think I remember how to get to him. Not because I want to talk to the king, but because that is where the next legacy quest is near the king. Yeah, I believe he's down here in this room. Yeah, so here's the Meatlump King. But if you want to continue the legacy quest, you have to talk to Hurricane Bender, which, if you remember, is one of the founding brothers of the Meatlump. So we talked to him. He says, "Oh, good, you'll do. My brother, Drekken, is set to assault a droid factory, but needs some troops to do the actual work. Or, I mean, to help out. I'm sending you." Okay, I can do that. Good, good. I guess you should get going then. Those droids won't destroy themselves. Believe me, we've been winning and hoping, but it never works. So revenge at last. So we're back on the legacy track. So if you don't want to do the Meatlump stuff, like you don't want to do all those puzzles and stuff, you don't have to. You can just come straight down to the bottom and come into this room. You don't even have to talk to the Meatlump King. You can if you want. But he's kind of a weirdo, so we're not going to talk to him. The other thing that I want to show down here is, so these are the Meatlump Jewelers. If you click and drag a Meatlump lump, I don't think you have to split it, but I'll do it just because on one of these jewelers, they'll give you the buff Meatlump Kiss, which increases your luck by 100 for an hour. In the chance that you get the negative buff, which decreases your luck by 100, I think it's called, like, it's basically Meatlump Herpes. You can come over to this guy, and then you can basically pay a Meatlump to remove the buff. We're not going to worry about that, though, because we got the positive buff. The other thing that I want to show while we're here, so we have to go back upstairs. I mean, we got to go back upstairs to exit anyways. But I believe they were, yeah, they're this one. You'll see this Meatlump vendor. We passed it on the way in, but I didn't look at it. But if you come under the Meatlump vendor, this is the other space where you can spend your Meatlump lumps. There's some cool collection items, junk loot, some decorative stuff. The most exciting thing on this vendor, which Legends added, is this item. It is the draft schematic for large Corellia House Style 3. You may be familiar with it if you've visited my city on Civ Meta. There's one right next to the starport, but it's basically a large structure with lots of windows, has 3 floors. It's a very cool house. It's unique to Legends. Very popular house. It can only be placed on Corellia and Talus, though, so keep that in mind. Otherwise, there's not really too much other things to do here outside of furniture and like completionist stuff. So we're just gonna dip now that we got our quest. I'm not gonna worry about the bomb. I mean, I guess I could go defuse the bomb to redeem myself for failing the other one, huh? I also get the quest thing out of my log. I think just going to the waypoint gets out of the log. Oh yeah, just going to it gets out of your log. Yeah, it just basically guides you to the bombs if you aren't using the wiki, but don't want to just run around cities until you find the bombs. All right, so yeah, Muddle the Meatlumps is doing all of the cracking stuff, which this is inside the base. I just went to a camp. You're mostly going to be going to the camps for this stuff. So the next one's out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, we'll keep going. Let me go refresh my med buffs again, though, because they're going to be running pretty low by the time we get out there. You can see that the introductory course of the Meatlump Themepark did not really give us a lot of experience, though. It's mostly driving around. And doing the collections will give you XP if you really enjoy the puzzle stuff. Again, I like puzzles. I don't like those puzzles. I'm not the kind of person to sit around and do crosswords, though, either. So I feel like if you're into crosswords or like Sudoku, like basically the math crosswords, I feel like the Meatlump Themepark's more your game, or at least more interesting for your side game. For me personally, I did it for a little bit to grind out Meatlump lumps, but yeah, it's not my go-to activity there. Let me go slam some things in the storage really fast. Typically what I'll do is if I have an empty backpack, I'll name that like Meatlump things, and I'll throw all the Meatlump stuff into it. I don't have an empty backpack on me right now, so I'm just gonna drop all that stuff in there. Let's get rid of the... Wow, you can sell the Anakin Skywalker replica cybernetic arm to a junk dealer. That's an interesting design decision. That's what I'll say about that one. You know what I noticed is that, basically after the Corellia Legacy, they kind of stopped giving you random buff items for quest rewards. Like, I'm not getting inundated with toxic weapon sprays anymore. Maybe they're at the point, well, these aren't particularly that strong anyways, but maybe they were getting self-aware about, like, this game has too many buff items. Honestly, if the Legend staff were to go through and be like, let's get rid of some of these buffs, I would not mind. Or at least specialize them more or something. Like, instead of, like, the tactical electro binoculars giving you, like, 5% damage increase flat, maybe just make it 5% damage increase against players. So it's, like, only useful in PvP. To make it more specific. That's not the best example, as those binoculars can be earned via PvE or PvP activity, but you get what I mean. Like, I think it's kind of silly that the Synapse Crystal just gives you a proccing damage effect for the whole game, but it's only obtainable via Restless combinations, which can only be obtained by going into an active PvP area, or grinding out terrible crafting or space quests. And the comm rate on that is way too low to warrant grinding out 10,000 of them. And I know people are like, well, you could trade and buy comms now. And I'm like, yeah, you can, but it's the principle of it. It's just weird that an item that was like meant for a PvP zone is also like best in slot for PvE. Same with the Biocrystal being obtained from doing heroics, but then you can now trade it and sell it on Legends. So yeah, you don't technically have to do the heroics to get it, but the intention was that you did. But it's just 250 con, which is good for whatever you're doing. Alright, we're here out at this base, which is some sort of droid factory, I guess. I feel like we've been here before. I'm getting deja vu. Oh, you know what? I think I did this on my commando. Did Harrykin send you? Good. This factory builds helper droids. These are the most evil droids ever known to the galaxy. They must be destroyed at once. That is where you come in. I'll man a command post here while you go destroy the helper droids. With pleasure. Wow, we're really energetic now. Then we are in agreement. Destroy as many helper droids as you can, and do not overlook the helper droid queen. I don't know what her purpose is, but it cannot bring anything but darkness and chaos to our lives. Destroy her as well. Okay. You make it sound as if, like... Hey guys, what are you doing here? I'm like... They make it sound like there's an insect hive, but... Why is C-3PO and R2-D2 just hanging out in a fucking bunker in the middle of nowhere where meat lumps are invested? Good day. I say, you look somewhat familiar. Did we perhaps meet near Ord Mantell on board Tansari Point Station? Regardless, I wonder if I might convince you to lend us some assistance. How can I help? So much has been said about the resilience of helper droids that we decided to see for ourselves. They never deviate from their assigned task. We believe it has something to do with their interface units. Please find us some of these interface units so we can analyze them further. C-3PO's like, go kill all sons of bitches. Oh my god. I feel like whoever wrote the Meatlump stuff was not the same person who's writing like this stuff, but you know what, they probably are. It's like they just want to write joke shit, which is fine. Oh, when I clicked on the item, it actually gave me a little bit of information. Or no, these are the helper droids. You have joined the entertainer profession. I have downloaded some entertainment tasks so that you may learn about being an entertainer. A majority of the medical practice takes place in a medical center, and most of those major cities will have at least one medical center. You may also practice the healing arts in a camp for the presence of a droid that has a medical module. When I have been stored, you may call me from my control device and your data pad. Simply berserk. Are these all like old tutorial shit like that they had planned for like pre-CU? Because some of this shit doesn't make sense, like having a droid in a camp for medical services. For your next task, survey and sample a metal. Any type will do, but you must find 19 units of the same type of metal to complete the task, in addition to the 8 units of minerals you collected previously. Never fear, I shall be with you always. I'm reading their quotes. There are many civilian contracts available on the mission terms you find throughout town. Look for them near any major structure. Use the terminal to bring up the current list of local contracts. Salutations. Yeah, they're all like jokes about tutorials that were in the game or planned for the game at one point. It seems like a very in-joke with the devs. Until you have your own ship, your options for traveling a location on the surface of a planet are limited to walking and purchasing a... Yeah, were these all like defunct tutorials? I don't understand. Oh, here we go. You have joined the brawler profession. I have downloaded some brawler tasks so you may learn more about being a brawler. Yeah. These are like old tutorials. Weird. But like, we have all this old stuff we've written that isn't useful anymore. What do we do with it? Make a gag quest? Sure, why not? Giving Cyclops flashbacks. Or flashbacks. Alright, well we gotta find more units for C3PO. I need 4 more. I like how the side quest is taking longer than the main quest, but that kind of checks out. Makes sense I have to go around and click things. Take. Why does it take me like 4 seconds to pick something up? Is my character like tired of like, damn, my back's really sore from having to make a bunch of leaks and logic to carry all this plot. Oh, those were all placed in a reasonable location for me to spot without having to dig too much. But also made me move about the space that they took time to populate and decorate, so... better base than some of the ones we came across today. I'm gonna kill this one for the memes. The last thing he has to say to me is, you have joined the artisan profession. I've downloaded some artisan tasks so that you may learn more about being an artisan. Amazing. Alright, C3PO. Completed your bullshit. He says, well done, these will do nicely. That's it? If you talk to C3PO again, he says, I simply cannot wait another minute. We must be going soon, R2. Those helper droids quite frankly send a shiver down my circuits. I guess calling back to the poor quality of previous tutorials, huh? Wow, you really tore into those helper droids. I'm impressed. The pleasure was all mine. While you're in such a destructive mood, I should send you to my brother, Lewis. He's planning to blow up some transports at a delivery depot on the outskirts of Corellia. He's not as good at blowing things up as I am, so he'll definitely need your help. And that made us level 79. Cool. Alright, so here's Boba Dway. Is this Lewis? Are you looking for Lewis? Lewis Bender? I am. Someone took him, a big Trandoshan. I think his name was Box, or Bosch. Or no, I got it. It was Bosk. He said he is as a bounty hunter. He said he as a bounty hunter. He said he as a bounty hunter? He took Lewis. I think it was supposed to be... He said he was a bounty hunter. I was like, what? He said that someone named Lucian had placed a bounty on Lewis. On his brothers, too. So Bosk plans to collect that bounty. Well, actually, Bosk also said that there's a much larger bounty on Lucian. He intends to force Hurakan and Draken to handle Lucian for him so he can collect that much more substantial bounty if they do that. He said that he'll let Lewis go. You don't think Bosk will try to collect both bounties? Lucian is the one who put the bounty on Lewis and his brothers. If Lucian is out of the picture, then there's no way for him to pay the bounty. I'm guessing it'll be up to me to take care of Lucian. Hurakan and Draken would probably send you to do it anyway. Bosk told me where to find him. It's nearby. Why don't you go after Bosk and free Lewis yourself? Lewis told me to wait here. Wait here for what? He didn't say. Right, because the joke is all the Meatlumps are idiots. Okay, well, let's go meet with Bosk. Alright, here's Lewis Bender and Bosk. Who are you? Oh, you're here for Lewis? Did you lose your Trandoshan accent? Whatever. I suppose that can work. We'll find out soon enough. I have Lewis here as my prisoner. If you do what I ask, I'll let him go. What do you want me to do? The bounty on Lewis, as well as his brothers, was placed by a man named Lucien. He leads the Beaufort Street gang, who used this bunker here as their hideout. What Lucien apparently does not realize is that there's a much larger bounty on him. I would prefer that larger bounty. You take care of Lucien and his gang, and I'll let Lewis go. I'll do it. You'll find them all inside the nearby bunker a bit to the south. Go on, I don't have all day to wait. And I can't even talk to Lewis, so... The Beaufort Street Thugs. Is it the Beaufort Street Gang or the Beaufort Street Thugs? Wait. Are they in here? Wait. You'll find them inside that nearby bunker a bit to the south. Go on, I don't have all day. Why didn't you give me a waypoint? Why is there no waypoint for this? Why did they make a waypoint for this? Because that's the Crick Council. That's the Arfu base. There's like 3 bunkers around here. You could have given me a waypoint. There's the Arfu Cave. There's the Crick Council bunker. Is this it? Yo, boss. I guess that was south. That was southwest. I mean, I get... Whatever. People autopilot while playing this game, especially me. You gotta give me waypoints, man. I don't care if you're like, oh, it's like impossible to miss. No, it's possible to miss. Trust me, I will miss it, given the opportunity. Okay, well, let's talk to the Beaufort Street gang leader. Who has the cybernetic chest and arms for some reason? Lewis, I reckon, Draken, no. You're not one of my sons. Be gone, your sons. That's right, my sons. They ran away long, long ago, but this time I'll treat them better. I won't ignore them or run any more experiments on them. If only I would return to me. What the fuck? You ran experiments on your son? No. Maybe I needed test subjects. My work was important. And for those, and you are to judge me. You're as bad as the Meatlump King who stole my boys away from me. I may not be able to get to him, but I can teach you to keep my boys from me. I'm just auto-attacking on him while I'm trying to read his text, by the way. He's not that hard. There we go. I gave him a chance. I just don't understand anything like about the Beaufort Street gang. Like, are they trying to allude that their father's also an idiot? Because like, why would you, that's like naming yourself the Cookie Gang, which I would only take seriously if you're literally the Cookie Monster. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. Whoever wrote this stuff had clearly a different sense of humor than I do. Like, I don't mind gag quest lines. It's fine to do every once in a while, but like... That first stretch of Rori Legacy was just bad. And then, the Meatlump Themepark's a whole big running gag, and that's fine. They can have a gag theme park. But then, like, part of the Legacy quest stretches on from the Meatlump Themepark, which is just strange to me. I don't know. The devs were really hyped about the Meatlump Themepark, I guess. There we go. Alright, back to Bosk. Not bad, not bad at all. You handle yourself well. The Beaufort Street gang never stood a chance. The pleasure was all mine. Oh my goodness, we get to pick a weapon of any variety. Wow, Bosk. You're better than basically any NPC I met today in terms of quest rewards. Tell you what, I have 3 bounties unlocked I haven't had a chance to collect. You take care of them for me, and I'll split the bounty with you. An associate of mine named Balfour has been tracking them. Speak with him for more details. He should be in the camp outside Nimson Stronghold unlock. Okay. Well, we're doing melee. Precise landing cannon. So you get a rifle. Right? Why did they give you 2 carbines? 11 carbine, pistol, rifle. Why do they give you like 2 rifles? What the they give you 2 carbine choices. with the same stats. Interestingly, they're 55 meters in range, though. That's uncommon. The two pistols with identical stats. Maybe their elements are different, but the elements aren't in the highlight. And then the precision lightning cannon, which is probably electric. And then a knuckler, which I'm not using in armed weapons. I'm curious about the carbines. So we'll probably pick one of those. Well, anyways, I guess we're done with the meat lumps, and we're going to... I guess we're going to lock? This is the end of... I thought Legacy ended on Rori, but to be honest, I haven't done Legacy in a really, really long time. Like, all the way through. The last time I did Legacy all the way through is when it ended on Talus on live. Oh. We're actually not far from Corellia. I guess I should have checked that. I was looking for a place to drop an ITV, but we're actually not that far. So... I thought it still ended on Rori, but I haven't checked, I guess, the quest line in a long time. It ending on Locke makes sense, though, if this is the end, because this would naturally lead into Nim's theme park then. And you'd be at the roughly the appropriate level of 60 to 65-ish. So this would make sense as a finishing spot. Okay, so here is Balfour Jakor. He says, you're here. Finally, boss, let me know that you are on your way. I have the information you'll need for each of the bounties. I'll upload it to your journal. Now go. Now get to work. When you finish these bounties, I can finally get off this forsaken planet. Do I have waypoints? No. Okay. Defeat Jody Like. Jody Like is a Twi'lek assassin for hire. He was overheard saying he was going to try his luck at Nim's Stronghold and see if he can find some work. Look for him somewhere around that small town that has grown up around Nim's Stronghold. Jody moves around a lot, so he probably can be found in various places around the town. Defeat Serdea Elgrim is a disbarred droid engineer. Track her down for boss. Try the droid engineer cave unlock. And finally, Ona Mornin, a Gungan last seen on Locke, is known to have a thing for skeletons. What the fuck does that mean? I don't like the implications of that. Try looking for him with a great Kimagilla skeleton. Oh, okay, like creature skeletons, not like necrophilia. Got it. Okay, so I'm just gonna drive around. I'm gonna try and find them without the wiki. So we're looking for Joti. I'm gonna drive around Locke doing /target Joti. I think I know where they are. Maybe? I feel like it's an NPC that I've seen. You know what I mean? But I just don't remember where they are. If I do a loop around the stronghold and I don't find them, I'll just look at waypoints. It sounds like they might spawn. Oh, they're there. Spawn at a few spots. For me, it looks like they are around the back wall near the dumpster area. Hey, it's level 65. Dumpster. Sad that Nim named one of his dogs Speed Bump. Okay, so we have the Droid Engineer Cave, which I believe, yeah, it's down in Mount Chiclock. Then Great Chemo Skeleton is near the Great Maze. Here is, oh no! Oh no, Morin. He attacked me first. He knew I was here for him. Alright, there's that one. Let's go down to the Droid Engineer's Cave, which we'll just shuttle to... Looks like Malkorith got a shuttle port. And they might be the closest. I can't for the life of me remember if I ever got in this cave. I'll know pretty quickly once I'm in. Okay. Using slash target to figure out if I go left or right. I think she's down the left path. I hope she is. Hi. Level 53. Boss says, not bad. Fortune smiled on me when you intervened on that Meatlump fool's behalf. I'll let Balfour know to have your payment ready. I gotta go back to Balfour at Nim, so let's head that way. Alright, back with Balfour, Bosk's associate. Speak to him. Yes, yes, you're back. Bravo. Well done and all that. I suppose I should thank you. I might actually be able to leave now, so thank you. I was promised to share the bounty. That's right, Boss left the specific instructions on that. Something about you needing to die. Wow, Boss betrayed us. And we win. Stop, stop. I surrendered the vainglorious impulse that led me to believe Vosk when he said I could defeat you has passed. I beg your forgiveness. I'll let you off the hook. But only because I don't have the option to kill you. Okay. Okay, you win. Don't hurt me anymore. I can't believe I let Boss talk me into attacking you so he could keep the entire bounty. What a ridiculous idea. Here, take a weapon. I'm clearly not qualified to use any of them. I take the paltry salary that Boss sends to me. It's not much, but I hope you could choke on it. Some big talk for a man about kill. But I also got a communicator saying, I've had my eye on you since you arrived in the lock. Looks like you can handle yourself enough. Stop by Nims if you want to earn a little money. Yeah, so the end of the legacy quest prompts you for Nims theme park. Wow. Cool. Well, that's neat. And honestly, that's a pretty good place to stop. We finished the theme park. Here's a look at the carbine. I've decided to pick a carbine because 55-meter carbine is kind of odd. You can't deconstruct and recraft it. And no, it doesn't have an element, so it's kind of a stinky gun. But it's an option. Well, what did we do today? We covered a lot of ground. We did the Rori section, right? Yeah, we did the Rori section of the theme park. We went back to Corellia and stopped at Droid Factory, which I guess foreshadows the IG-88 Droid Factory, which we'll be doing later. And once we're level 90, that's level 90 content. And then we went back to Rori. I'm already forgetting what we did. And then we went back to Corellia and did the Meatlump stuff to get into the Meatlump theme park. Then I introduced kind of what the general grind is there, continue the legacy from there, which then led us to Locke, which now we hunted some bounties. And now Vanna Sage wants to meet us, which is the start of Nim's theme park. And my journal even confirms it. Look at that. Which we'll be doing Nim's theme park next time. And honestly, at level 79, which we only gained... No, we gained 11 levels today. Never mind. We gained a lot. I was like, wait a second. What level was I when I started this? Yeah, we gained 11 levels today. So not a bad day of leveling. Definitely slow down during the Meatlump theme park. But yeah, next time we'll start Nim's theme park. And I wouldn't be surprised if Nim's theme park gets us to at least level 88. As I said, Nim's theme park gives a ton of experience and some very cool items. And I think it's probably one of, if not the best theme park in the game for players to experience, especially while leveling. And again, you could start Nims at 60, which we'll do. Again, next time, I know I'm a little over leveled for it, but that's kind of been the theme, huh? Since we, basically since halfway through the Tatooine theme park, like Cyclops pointed it out, we've been over leveled. But either way, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you all very much for your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.